All right, so we're here. He's been keeping a specific topic from us for like the past 30 fucking minutes. What's the topic besides television?
Right. The question is, can you judge a show based on one episode?
Jerome took a breath.
It's like I had like a 3-hour discussion in my head just now instantly. How? In my head, like 3 voices popped up.
Went through all the emotions.
Right? like everything just happened at once real quick. But,
Oh my god.
This is how I'll just tell you how it started. Cause I went in I was watching TBA stream, and they was talking about fucking Marvel shows and shit, and then they started talking about Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
One dude was like, season 1 of Jessica Jones was trash.
It was.
And then I said the first episode of Jessica Jones was trash. And then they was like, nah, you're bugging, bro. You're wild. There's like everybody in the chat. And was like, bruh, like one dude commented and was like, judging a show based off one episode is a bad mentality. And they was like, yeah, it's a detective show. You gotta give it a couple episodes. It was like, pretty much the consensus was you have to watch a couple episodes of a show before you judge it. And
honestly, I'm sorry.
Y'all niggas are bugging. It's all good. Go ahead.
Honestly, I say, and I know this is like an unfair kind of blanket-esque kind of term, but Adrian knows this about me. I say everything depends on something. That's like my philosophy of life.
Yeah.
Everything depends on something. And honestly,
Right.
in this situation, I say it depends on the genre and the medium. Being like, I don't, like, just as a solid example, I don't believe you can judge like anime off of one episode. Because 9 times out of 10, the first episode of almost every anime has nothing to do with anything. Like 9 times out of 10. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's usually the first episode of an anime is literally about nothing. There's no fighting, there's no action, there's no story. It's literally like, yeah, these are our punk-ass characters. That's it.
Okay,
That's
so
literally it.
what could you arguably do it with?
I mean, I would say things like sketch comedy shows, like Community to me. Even though Community is a bad example because the entire first season of Community is garbage, it doesn't get good till season 2. But a show like Community, that show's point is to make you laugh. You know what I mean? It's not really about the story or character depth. Yes, that may be there because even with Community again, you do get a lot of character depth, you get a lot of dynamic stories, but the point is to make you laugh. So if you watch the first episode and you just staring blankly at the screen, that show failed. So,
Damn! Wait! I mean, but you watched to the second season.
well, like I said, Community is not the best example because Community's first season genuinely wasn't that good.
But I mean, isn't that like, you know me, I like to play devil's advocate. Isn't that like, not even, I just like to present different views, I guess.
Yeah, I see what
but isn't that like subjective? So, say like, it doesn't make me laugh at all, like the first episode I see, so I'm like, this series of whatever I'm watching is fucking ass. It's garbage. It's trash. My shit looks better than this show, right? So then, like, 2 weeks later, I come in, the show is still on, and then all of a sudden, I'm just like laughing my ass off. I'm like, wow, this show's good.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is very possible that will happen. And I mean, technically, even still, Community isn't a bad example because in my experience, I watched episode 1 and was like, this show sucks.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
the whole season did suck.
I agree. The first season
wasn't as good. So even still,
boo-boo.
that's not a bad example. That's still a pretty good example. Off that one episode, I was able to tell the rest of the season was kind of bad. Then season 2, you watch episode 1 and you're like,
oh my god,
this is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, this show is amazing. Where are the awards?
I mean, and comedy probably overall isn't the best example, I guess, either, just because comedy is very hit or miss. An entire series could suck, but there could be a few funny moments that get you to laugh.
That is true.
You know? But, like, I will say again, like, things like anime, maybe detective shows, to a degree, you gotta give more than one episode, but even still, I don't think so with a detective show, because if you want to know the story, yes, you need more than one episode. You know, you can't give a detective show the whole series in one fucking episode, or the whole point in one episode. But to know if you like the character, if you know that, to know that you like the dynamic of the show, I think one episode should suffice. Like, you know?
Exactly.
Like,
in my definition,
you
should be able to watch any episode of any show, and if it doesn't interest you at all, or if you're not confused, if you don't care about any of the characters, then that show is garbage.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You should be able to watch any episode and at least find something interesting to happen, especially in the fucking pilot.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally the point of a pilot.
Yeah,
it's to prove to me the show's good. It's one shot, one episode.
And let me know how the rest of the show is gonna go.
Exactly.
And if that shit was boring, then that shit's garbage.
I give you that.
Then that shit's garbage.
No, he's totally right. Like, the very literal point of a pilot episode is to set you up to say, hey, is this show good or not? Do you want to see more of this? That's literally the sole purpose of a pilot.
And I was gonna go through the whole definition process of, like, we all watched Pulp Fiction, right?
Yeah.
The nigga literally explained what a fucking pilot was.
Yeah.
So the argument would be, oh, if the pilot wasn't so good, then why did they make more episodes? It's Marvel.
And they're partnered with Netflix.
Yeah,
Disney.
They have too many outs.
I will say
they're not gonna not put that shit.
Nowadays, too, I will say TV is formulated a little bit differently. Where back in the day, you do your pilot and then they would sign you for like so many episodes as long as you kept ratings. But nowadays, it's like when you get signed for so many episodes, hands down. Yeah. When they like your pilot, they're like, okay, we want 13 episodes.
You're locked for a season.
For a season. You know what I mean? So it's like they might have saw the pilot of Jessica Jones and then signed her for 13 episodes, but we all quickly realized episode 1, the show was garbage. Show's already signed though; it doesn't matter. It's already 13 episodes worth.
And nothing you can do about it.
There's nothing I can do about it.
That contract was solid.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's people are gonna watch it regardless. It's
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I was really skeptical to watch season 2, but I watched it just because it's Marvel. I knew for a fact season 1 was garbage. I did not like Jessica Jones season 1 at all.
You would constantly complain after every episode of how shitty she was. He was like, how the fuck you gonna be a discount? What'd you call her?
A discount Superman.
Yeah.
That's what she is. She's a budget Superman.
He was like, how your powers gonna turn on and then turn off whenever? And like,
well, that was my biggest complaint with Jessica Jones season 1, because yes, it is a detective kind of like private eye kind of show. So I expected kind of that slightly slower paced, methodical kind of setup, and that's what it gave me. So in that it's not bad. But you can't give me a Marvel show and then have really inconsistent powers. And I mean, granted, in some cases, even in movies and in the comics, there are inconsistent power scalings. I get it. But you can't have a character flip a car in one scene and then can't lift up a foot-by-foot box in the next scene. Like, literally, season 1 did that. In season 1, like, I want to say maybe episode 3, she lifts up a car. She literally, like, not like over her head, but she grabs like the back of the car and like angles it up. Then later in the series, like 3 episodes later, she can't even knock a door down.
He's right. She couldn't do shit.
Like, and I'm like, what?
It's just her powers are just
really inconsistent.
But there wasn't like in the story, there wasn't like an arc with her powers or anything.
No, there was nothing about like the story's not about her powers at all. So then her powers fluctuating isn't like a thing. You know what I mean? Like, the story was more so her story. The part of the reason I will say Jessica Jones is a decent series overall is because hers isn't about her powers at all whatsoever. It's literally about her psychological state. That's literally what the show is about. It's about like the psychological state of people. You know what I mean?
That's pretty cool. It reminds me of Watchmen.
Exactly, and in that it was good. But again, you can't have you can't have anything, any type of anything, and then say this is part of it, even if it's not important. This is part of it, and then not know how to do it. That's stupid. That's you know what I mean? And I know that was like really elaborate how I explained that, but
still,
it's like,
though, I don't. Yeah, I mean, Jessica Jones. That is a good example. It was ass. I'm trying to find a redeeming quality, and I can't.
But you know how I knew that shit was gonna be garbage?
How?
That first episode.
that first episode.
That shit was garbage.
Same thing with season 2. I watched the episode 1 of season 2 and was like, okay, they changed it. They did it right. It's a good show now. Like,
And it was good?
and it was good. I really
that's
liked
crazy,
season
man.
2. Season 2 was
Honestly,
really good.
that's how it was when Daredevil came out. When the first episode was out, I was like, "The fuck is this?" like this shit is raw.
I
we watched
love
this.
it. The first season of Daredevil was dope.
I like
Yeah.
the second season too.
Now, I will say there are some situations that will lie to you, whereas, like, Iron Fist was the exact opposite.
Oh my God, Iron Fist was
episode
fucking
1
ass,
of Iron
boy.
Fist is actually pretty good. You watch episode 1 and you're like, okay,
yes,
all right, yeah, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. And then the whole series was just garbage. Garbage.
Who am I? I'm David Rand. Who are you? Where am
I'm
I?
Danny Rand. This is my building.
I'm
but I don't
rich.
want to be rich. But I will need money. But I don't want money.
Should I be like, who am I? When am I? Where am I? Man, shut the fuck up and punch
I'm
something.
the immortal Iron Fist. Like,
I'm definitely
and then
not,
what
I'm
was-
not going to deny that shit happened.
What was crazier
Like-
too is he was like weak as fuck.
yeah.
He was weak. Like the way he was fighting, I was frustrated. I'm like, you fought and killed a fucking dragon. So how are you not handling these thugs any better?
Right?
I was
And they're
like,
not even trained thugs. They're just niggas with bats.
that's it. And he was having
They're
trouble.
really not even like trained
Oh my
criminals,
God.
like martial arts or nothing. They're just dudes with sticks and pikes.
Angry ass dudes with weapons.
And like they really like, come on now.
You inherited power from
Or
a
like-
fucking dragon.
There's slight spoilers ahead. Do you care at all, Latin? You
Nah.
seem like you have. Okay, so slight spoilers. At one point, he does go to a school of like martial arts students, but all these kids are exactly that. Kids.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he's still like getting his ass beat.
Yeah.
Well, not like his ass beat, but they're putting up like a fight, and it's like when you think about the character
It
and
shouldn't
then who
even
he's
be-
versus, it's like that shouldn't even be a fight.
Literally, you know there's gonna be some fuck ass. I gotta point one of these people out. He was holding back. No, he wasn't.
No.
Okay? He was getting his ass thrashed by some children.
Yeah.
You don't give me that, oh, he was holding back Danny
So-
don't want her kids. Man, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, so that series is the exact opposite. Episode 1 was actually pretty good.
As a matter of fact,
but
I was so pissed off that I stopped watching it for like 2 months, and then I went back and finished it.
yeah,
Now, I'm not gonna watch Luke Cage. I still am not.
oh my god, Luke Cage
Wait,
is actually good.
Why aren't you watching Luke
Because
Cage?
he doesn't like Luke Cage because he's the generic black guy.
He is.
Like-
Luke Cage is the generic ass
Yeah,
black
he's
dude.
the
All right,
generic
what's
black
my power? I'm super strong and super durable, like a big ass black dude. Oh, he's also big ass and black. Where is he from? Fucking the Harlem.
Harlem.
Where most of the black people are. How smart are you? Not very. And I also have a criminal record. The fuck?
Oh my goodness.
Oh
But
yeah.
his
By the,
criminal record is because he was framed.
By the
he
way-
actually didn't do it.
by the way, in every one of my episodes, I'm gonna have some black artists playing a jazz club because
Yeah,
Black
that
Power.
shit, like season 1 killed me with the Black Lives Matter.
It's like I get it.
Don't get me wrong. I'm all for the movement.
Wait, because you gonna post this shit.
Like I said, I'm gonna cover my bases.
Well, I'm covering my bases. Like
The internet, don't beat me up and hang me and kill me.
if you cannot tell by how loud and obnoxious we are, these are 3 motherfucking black people.
Yes, we're
Okay.
all black, and I'm there for Black Lives Matter.
All right.
Don't get me wrong.
Like, we're just against people that take advantage of racial divide and claim that everything's racist when not everything's fucking racist.
yeah,
Okay?
that, and you don't need to drill it down my throat
I
every
get
30
it.
seconds
I get it.
of every episode.
I grew up in a racist white town, y'all. All right, y'all need to calm the fuck down. I know somebody's gonna fly off the handle and write me a fucking thesis. I don't need that shit.
You know, like, that was the only thing about season 1 I didn't like, is that literally every 5 to 10 minutes it was some kind of Black Lives Matter
And,
message. And it was like, get to the fucking show. Like, I get it. I get it. Black people are important. Stop killing them. I get it. This is a fucking superhero show, though. Why the fuck do I care about race? I don't. I want to see him be super. Like,
I don't want to
that's
see him be
it.
super at all. Weak ass generic motherfucker.
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
I fucks with
Jesus.
that shit. But you know what? What fucked me up about the story was that what's his face was basically like his antagonist. Like he was like his opposite.
Who's
to where
what's his face?
the first villain that
Oh,
fucking died
no, not Copperhead.
It was Copperhead.
Oh, I didn't watch it. I don't know the first one was.
Not the club
not the
owner.
super dude.
Oh, not the super dude.
Yeah, not
the
super
club
dude.
owner.
The club owner.
Okay, so yeah, Copperhead. I think that was
He
what he
was
called
the
it.
villain.
Copperhead. Yeah,
He was like the
actually
perfect
the villain. Yeah, he was more so the antagonist of the series
Oh,
than
exactly.
the actual villain of. No, it was honestly it's the same thing in season 2. Season 2, her brother, or her, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. His sister is more the villain or the antagonist of the series than the actual villain. Because in the villain in this one is, I forgot his name. But it was like this Jamaican dude who was essentially the same thing as him. Essentially, he would take this drug that would make him like super strong, a little bit faster, far more durable, stuff like that. So basically, another version of him, and that's all he was. Like he had like this cheap ass kind of generic story, and he would just come up and be like, okay, me and you, Luke Cage, we gotta fight. They would fight, and then that's it. It was like an empty fight. It was like just a fight for fighting.
I mean,
but
that's pretty much why I haven't watched the second season.
Yeah, I will
Like,
say
they just killed the perfect villain. Like,
but I will say season 2 was really good. I did like season 2 a lot.
I'll watch it eventually.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. If you haven't seen it, watch it.
I haven't watched Iron Fist. I don't really plan on
Don't
watching
watch
it. And then the whatchamacallit, the little,
Defenders?
Yeah, the Defenders.
Defenders wasn't bad at all.
Okay.
Defenders didn't have a great story. That's the thing.
That's
The actual writing and the story wasn't really there. It was kind of crappy. But ultimately, you really only watch Defenders to see them all together.
Yeah.
Like, to tell the truth, that's the only reason you're watching Defenders. So when you cut out the fact that the story wasn't all that great, it's pretty good. Especially when you have like the ensemble shots of all 4 of them fighting together.
Yeah.
That was actually really cool. Like there was, like they even did a few moments where they did like Luke Cage would put his hands up and then Iron Fist would like punch his hands and it would do like a shockwave. So like they even had like a few group moments. Or like I think there's another moment where like it was something like, I might be explaining this wrong, but it was something like Daredevil does like a front flip or something, and then Jessica Jones like bounds off of Daredevil to do like an ultra hard punch or something. Like there was a lot of group attacks, and it was like kind of cool. It was
that sounds lit.
Yeah, it
But
was kind of cool to watch that.
Fuck with the story more than I fuck with all the action shit.
No, you're right. Because I mean, action can only carry a season for so long. You know what I mean?
Before
it's
like
garbage.
it gets to a point where it's like, okay, give me some fluidity here.
Daredevil was different for me because the action was so dope, but the reason why I was so into it is because I thought this nigga was gonna be like a vigilante for the city. Like he was gonna be doing small shit, like saving that kid.
Yeah.
Like that shit was crucial. Like that's some shit that's supposed to hit you at home. Like this nigga really went to go save this little fucking kid was kidnapped. Like this nigga was in there getting raped and shit. Like, like that's some real hard hitting shit. But then they abandoned all that.
Yeah, and
but
they
the
got
action was
bigger.
still
Yeah, they got bigger.
Yeah, to
with it.
take out Wilson Fisk.
Like, yeah, no, I will say, like, season 1 of Daredevil, it was good. Like, I love Daredevil through and through, but, like, I agree with you. When it was more, like, Daredevil being, like, the neighborhood hero, it hit home a lot better. Like, I don't even live in New York, and that shit hit home pretty good.
It's like, that city is fucked up, man. They were doing some fucked up shit.
But then when it started to get, like, bigger, more methodical, you have these villains that's damn near saying, I'm trying to take over the world. It was like, okay, calm down.
Like, it's kind of corny at that point.
But it's a Marvel show at the end
Marvel
of the day.
superhero.
Because they always start that way. It's like, this guy started off with his neighborhood. Oh, look, the world's threatened. Guess I gotta go do something. And it happens
like
within
the potential in that.
Yeah, like you're right though. I agree. If they had kept it closer to home and not so much elevated, or they elevated us slowly per season,
like
maybe.
Slowly throughout.
I would have been a little more like, oh my god, I'm really into this. But these are all
that was like emotionally impactful for me when he went to save that kid, especially with that one take in the hallway.
Oh man, when he fought all those guys. Oh my god.
Yeah, and it was like the one single shot that kind of kept going swaying, panning back and forth. Yeah. That was a really good shot. And like, I love that shot too because that shot showed how human Daredevil really is.
Exactly. He was getting tired.
Yeah, he was getting tired. Like, he could barely stand up anymore.
That shit was dope.
Yeah, like there was a shot in that fight where like him and a dude are like leaning against the wall, just looking at each other. Yeah, because they're both tired as fuck. Like, hold on, dude. Like, I gotta take a break. I just beat up like 6 of your homies. I had just knocked you out, but your ass want to get back up and shit.
I gotta knock you out again.
I gotta knock you out again. Like, hold on. And they literally just stood there looking at each other because they were tired. that showed like the reality of the situation. But then later in the series, this nigga fighting ninjas infinitely, like infinitely spawning ninjas.
Exactly.
Like
Right. They just abandoned the whole realistic.
yeah, and that was kind of the thing about Daredevil, where like even as a hero, he was kind of broken with his like senses, but a lot of his villains and like his fights were a little bit more grounded, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they were situations where it's like you almost want to say I could believe that actually happening. You know what I mean? You almost can say that.
Hell yeah.
So that's kind of like I did like that. Now I will say Punisher did an amazing job of kind of keeping that at home.
Yeah, he did.
Like
Oh, really?
Punisher. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen.
you didn't see
Punisher,
season
but-
2?
I just watched the first episode.
Oh my god,
It's
you gotta
so
watch. You
good.
gotta watch the rest.
Yeah.
The actual.
You genuinely forget you're watching a Marvel show. You
That's
think
what's
you're
up.
watching some
Yeah.
dope ass like ex-army show or
Daredevil
something. Like,
season 2. Oh my god,
Like,
he stole it. It was like he
and
stole it.
if I remember correctly, even the actor himself was like, he says, when you watch season 1 of The Punisher, you're not watching The Punisher, you're watching Frank Castle.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, like that's how he explained
I mean-
the series. Like you're watching Frank Castle. You're not watching the superhero vigilante Punisher. You're watching
Right.
Frank Castle.
Man, when he was trying to live that normal ass life,
Yup.
and them dudes,
They just kept pulling it out.
he snapped. He snapped. he
could've
fucked
stopped.
them up.
Yeah,
fucked
he was
them
trying
up.
to get out. He was
Yeah.
trying to be done with
Then
it.
that dude, they got they chorus that dude into robbing the mob boss guys or whatever.
Yup.
I was like, man, nope, he snapped. It's over.
Yup.
You finally pissed him off.
And then that show too does like a great job of showing how human the character really is. So like, I mean, granted, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, you kind of can't do that because of their power scaling. You know, like you need, according to what the show says, a Judas bullet in order to hurt fucking Luke Cage. So like those shows, you can't really show a physical human like extent,
Struggle.
but you could show an emotional. And I'll say Luke Cage completely fails to do that. I see no emotional connection with Luke, but Jessica did an amazing job of that.
I mean,
It kind of got irritating because they make her a little bit too brooding. Like literally the entire series, season 1 and season 2, she's like, I don't want to do this. I wish I didn't have these powers. I hate myself. I hate the world. I hate what I've been through. Why is this happening?
I'm angry.
I'm angry.
Let me
but I
fuck
don't
this
wanna
person.
Do, yeah,
I'm
let me,
angry.
let me
Yeah, I mean, people,
pointlessly
she was
have
just-
sex
yeah.
but not do anything about my own emotional turmoil.
she was just putting all that shit in sex.
Yeah, like it gets like at first it's real. It's like I get it, and granted, I understand. Like in real life, it's not that easy. You don't
Right.
just wake up one day and be like, I feel better. In real life, you do go years upon years, especially if you've been through anything remotely close to what she's been through. I get it, but like as a show, I don't want to watch that. As a show, I want the hero to realize they're a fucking hero and be a fucking hero. Like, step the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
You want the Spider-Man effect.
yeah, like...
Because that's what happened. He got his
Yeah.
powers. He's like, oh, I guess I'm going to save people.
Yeah,
That-
I get it, because, like, in Spider-Man, he does have a moment where he's like, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, da-da-da-da-da, and then his uncle dies, and he's like, with great power comes great responsibility. And it just so happened that fits perfectly for Spider-Man's situation, and he's like, okay, I get it. I have to do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
And from that moment on, he rarely questions himself again. He'll question if what he's doing is the right thing to do, but he won't question the fact that he needs to do something.
Right. That's
And
always been his thing.
Exactly, and that's what I like in a hero. Once they step up, step the fuck up. I don't want to deal with a hero who doesn't know if they could be a fucking hero. Like, you just flipped over a car. What do you mean?
People can't do that.
Like,
Not normal people can't do that.
like,
And see, it's funny because these are all the other shows we talked about are examples of ones where like the pilot of the first episode you were hooked. I'm trying to think of like shows that I watched or the first episode. There have been a lot of anime though that I've been turned off to, like the first episode because it's so fucking random. I'm like, this is stupid. Like I won't watch it. Anime is a culprit of that shit.
Well, that's what I said with anime. Like all anime, you got to give it like 6 episodes.
Like,
you know what I mean? You got to give it like half a
whole,
season.
I get that. Like,
yeah,
the fucking you got to watch a couple episodes.
Yeah, like
before it even gets.
Yeah, like before it even gets good, you got to actually watch it. Like I dare anybody watch the one episode of One Piece.
I can't do One
And tell I bet money you're gonna be like, this is a stupid ass show. I don't care about this dumb shit.
I gave One Piece a chance.
I bet money.
I can't do it. I can't
Like,
do it.
yeah. But if you watch the entire series, unless you have the same quips that Adrian has about this show, you might actually be like, this is a decent anime.
I fucking despise One Piece.
Except for the fact that that shit is like 1,200 episodes.
Well,
and
first off,
like,
it's like way too many episodes. They're not even close to One Piece. As a matter of fact, I don't think they're searching for that shit no more.
basically not.
Secondly, the character designs are fucking atrociously ugly. They're garbage. The proportions are ass. Like, I know in anime it's not even close, but like they didn't even try. They like handed his 15-year-old kid who's like, all right, I'm going to go to art school and draw Luffy. Like handing him that, and for some ungodly fucking reason, anime does it, and I don't mind it in like moderation. But like every other sentence in One Piece, somebody's screaming at something.
Yeah.
I do not know why.
Like,
they're always screaming, yo, shut the fuck up. You are having a conversation in a coffee shop. Why the fuck are you screaming? You stupid Neanderthal. What the fuck? Take your ugly ass characters and take your ugly ass show, find One Piece, and maybe make one where they find a second piece. I don't fucking know. I'm sick of that stupid show.
Find the second piece.
I fucking hate that show.
Like he hates it with a
ready for
vengeance.
this shit to be over, bro.
As of now, I don't like it anymore because like the reservations I have with that show is one, I hate anything where you establish a set of rules and then break your own rules.
Yeah, they
It's
do that a
okay
lot.
when you break.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's okay when you break. It's okay when you break 1 or 2 rules in order to like push the story.
You can't do that shit.
Yeah, it's like I said, when you do it like
It just immediately reminds me of the new Star Wars.
yeah,
That's terrible.
you can't establish a rule set of like this is how my world works, and then have characters that just happily break that rule.
Break the mechanics.
Yeah, it's like that's stupid. Again, when you do it maybe once, it's okay because then that adds like a outrageous plot twist if you do it right. But like literally, so like I'm gonna break down One Piece just real quick. There are 3 fruit types, okay? There are 3 fruit types.
Some weak ass laughs.
All right.
Glug 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 glug. No.
No.
What is going on with
There are
that?
3 fruit types, okay?
All right.
There's Logia, Zoan, and Pyromancia, right?
Right.
Logia users are... Oh, wait, I gotta remember which one's which. Okay, Logia users are people that become what they are. So, like, you're a fire user, so you are fire. Like, your body is literally made of fire. You can kind of turn it on and off to the sense of, like you could touch this and not burn it. Mm-hmm. Or you could be like, I'm gonna touch this and burn it. But you are fire. Nothing can affect you other than another Logia user or someone using Haki, which is like a special ability within the show. Think of it kind of like a chi. It's not literally chi, but think of it as chi, like spirit energy. Mm-hmm. Like kind of. Don't butcher me, internet. Okay? Don't butcher me. But for lack of a better explanation, call it chi. Right? That's what the show establishes, right? Then you have Zoan. Zoans are transformers, basically.
Yeah,
you
animals.
ate a fruit, not necessarily animalistic, not necessarily an animal, but something.
Yeah.
So most of them are animals. Yes, I will say like 99% of them are animals. So like you ate the snake fruit. So then you have your human form. Then you have like a middle form where it's like half snake, half human. Yeah. And then you have your animal form where it's like complete full snake or whatever animals you are.
Animalities.
Yeah, basically. Now, they've explained in the series that there are other ones, like one of the ones I think they said was I forgot his name. He's like a mob boss character. He's part castle. Like, literally, like, castle.
That's another thing I fucking hate.
Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. Yeah, so like he has this human form, then he has like this half kind of like knight looking form, and then he has like this complete like castle looking form.
Okay.
Like where he is like a stone castle.
Yeah, like he's
right.
Yeah.
And then there's Pyromancia, which is body augmentation. So Luffy, literally, where your body is something about it gets augmented. Like Luffy is still human, but he's now made of rubber. His body is the consistency and everything of rubber. So it's body augmentation.
Got it.
Right? So here's the thing. A Pyromancia user, meaning somebody like Luffy, cannot affect a Logia user. Even though if they try to fight them, they're using their ability, like Luffy will stretch and punch whoever is made of fire. He can't affect him because he's not Logia himself and not using Haki, right? But Luffy then later learns Haki, so now he can affect Logia users, right? One of the forms that he uses Haki in is it's called Armament, where he literally turns his like arms or body parts as hard as steel or metal. Again, don't butcher me, internet. I know they don't ever actually clarify what metal it is. Sorry for saying steel. But it's as hard as metal.
Hey, we have to cover our bases.
Does these fucking anime fans?
They're ruthless.
They're ruthless. They will butcher me. I'm probably still gonna get butchered if somebody see this.
They're gonna send us death threats and shit.
But yeah,
I'd be surprised if anybody actually jumped in the comments. But...
So yeah, like that's kind of the way the three fruits work, right? Okay, that makes sense. Another kind of addition to the fruits is that if you eat a devil fruit, because that's what they're overall called, like devil fruits, that they describe it by saying the ocean is your mortal enemy. Long story short, you lose the ability to swim.
Okay.
To explain it simply, if I throw you in the ocean, you'll sink to the bottom of the ocean and just drown and die.
Wow.
Yeah. So they say, which is honestly, that was a stupid ass rule. Why make a show about fucking pirates that can't swim? That's fucking stupid. But anyway, that's a side note. Yeah, I mean, maybe he just wanted to be ironic when he created it, but
I really don't think he thought of much of anything when he made that.
No, it's been confirmed that dude thinks week to week.
Yeah.
But that's the issue. He thinks week to week.
Wow.
So then he creates plot holes and issues within his own series. Where like you'll have this character fight this character. Like, okay, for example, there's a new guy who's made of mochi, which is like Japanese ice cream.
Yeah.
He's literally made of mochi, so he can throw like ice cream and dough at you, right? I'm gonna assume he's a Logia type. That's what I'm gonna assume, because in his like when he fights, he becomes mochi. So I'm assuming he's a Logia type. Well, then why the fuck was Luffy able to punch him without using Haki? That makes no damn sense.
That's how you be breaking the...
Yeah, that's how he breaks through stuff like that. And it's like, you want to say, oh, that was just a little moment. Maybe it was like an animation glitch. But then it happens again and again and again and again. And it's like, what? And then he starts coming up with fruits. Yeah. And then he starts coming up with fruits that, like, kind of don't even fit the categories of what the three fruits are. Now, there's technically a fourth category called rare types. But rare types are not a category within their own. They're subcategories of the previous three. So like one of the rare types is legendary types. I'm sorry, legendary types. So one of the legendaries is legendary fruit Phoenix. So it's a Zoan type, so you can transform. You're part Phoenix. The reason it's legendary is because you're technically also a Logia, because Phoenixes are commonly personified with fire. So if you have the Phoenix fruit, you're a Phoenix, and you get the ability of fire. So you're both. So that's kind of why the legendaries are legendary. Also, legendaries can be considered legendary because there's only one form of their fruit. So another thing about like the Zoan types is like, okay, for snakes, there's one Zoan for every species of snake. So there's like a rattlesnake fruit, there's a fucking... I can't think of any other types of snakes right now. But you get my point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but like there's a legendary T-Rex fruit. Apparently he's the only dinosaur fruit, period. So that's why his fruit is special. Because he's the only dinosaur. There's no other dinosaur fruit. But I bet fucking money 400 episodes from now we're going to see another fucking dinosaur fruit. Even though when we're introduced to this character, he fucking tells us he's a legendary fruit user because he's a T-Rex and don't know other dinosaurs exist. Bet fucking money that's what's gonna happen.
That's what happens when you think week to fucking week.
Yeah.
I think he waits to the last second and is like, oh wait, that's what happened? We'll just put this in there.
Yeah. And it's like...
And man, what's even worse is people try to compare the shit to like Dragon Ball. Mm-hmm. Like, I've heard so many arguments where like, well, at least they don't do this like yada yada Dragon Ball, they yell all the time. I'm like, that's when they power up.
Yeah, they yell for a point.
Y'all, like, in One Piece, we'll be sitting here and our conversation will consist of 80% yelling.
Yeah.
Why? But like all the fruits and stuff, like at some point when you were explaining the fruits, I was like, man, fuck One Piece. Like
that was a long ass explanation.
It was. I'm sorry.
Well, it wasn't that it was long. The fact that it was so long is because this guy just don't know how to get to the goddamn point.
Yeah.
Like we are. Are we close to 1,000?
I think we're like 900.
We're like 900, and these niggas haven't even found a
900.
piece of One Piece. They found a clue like 300 episodes ago, but then they all went off fighting some big ass stupid fucking giant who's a retard. You find out later that she's fucking.
So they're currently fighting this character named Big Mom, and like he's not over exaggerating by saying she's a retard.
She's fucking retarded.
Like,
she's
no.
a giant that eats.
Like, so internet, you may correct me again, but
nah, fuck y'all.
So look. A long time ago in the series, this nigga Luffy ate some candy and they found out it was a bitch named Big Mom's candy. So he immediately, instead of thinking about it, he immediately threatened her.
Yeah.
Immediately was like, I'ma fuck you up. So then we were like, okay, awesome. He's gonna fight Big Mom. Big Mom is known as an emperor of the sea. Basically, they're like the top dogs of pirates.
Yep.
The 4 emperors, they're like the top dogs of the pirate world. So she's one of the emperors, right? So this whole time we've been like low-key nervous, like damn, Luffy's challenging an emperor. Holy fucking shit. Because when we saw the power of some of the other emperors, we were like, this shit ain't right. This ain't right. Like one of the emperors was this dude named Whitebeard who had something called the quake fruit, which basically meant he could create earthquakes. But not even earthquakes, just quakes. This nigga did like a pulling motion, like where he like grabbed the air and it literally shifted the earth.
Wow. That's
like,
ridiculous.
That's how power, and he's an emperor. So when you see that level of power, you're like, okay, that's where the emperors are. Or another example is this dude named Shanks. He walked onto Whitebeard's boat, and his presence is so strong, everybody on the boat other than Whitebeard passed out. Because that's how powerful this nigga Shanks is.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how powerful he is. And he's another emperor, right? So we're thinking, okay, Big Mom's an emperor. She gonna be powerful. And granted, yeah, she's powerful. Okay, I get it. She's powerful. Fine. But she's a fucking retarded. And I don't mean that like as the insult, so don't butcher me for saying things politically incorrect. No, I literally mean the definition of the word
she's
retarded.
actually retarded.
She's literally like special. Because like, and this is my grounds for saying this. So she had this dope ass scheme, and I honestly say dope like it was a dope ass scheme, to like get one of her daughters to marry this other dude who had this super powerful military, so that they could like bring their 2 armies together and have like the most powerful force in existence, right?
Right.
But she was then gonna perform like a coup and overthrow the other military so that she could own it all. Instead of having like a partnership, she could just own it all. And it was elaborate and it was dope.
So
right?
you think she's like a legit villain?
Yeah, right? But during the wedding, because her daughter was, going to get married to one of the dude's sons, there was going to be a big wedding. They were going to have cake, because, cake is part of a wedding.
Here we fucking
right?
go.
And it was a big, beautiful cake. This dumb bitch cared more about the cake than she does the actual plan to overthrow the army.
Yeah.
Right? Then get this. So look, y'all on the internet, y'all can't see this. I'm gonna try to explain it elaborate enough so that y'all can picture it. But for you, Latin, I'm gonna like kind of show you, right?
All right.
So, essentially, I'm holding a PlayStation remote, right? I'm holding a PlayStation remote, right? This is her island, right? Imagine that this is her island, okay? Actually, I should probably use something bigger, actually. No, I'm gonna use something bigger. Okay, so this is a bed, okay? Because this is too small. So, okay, this is a bed. Adrian has a full, okay? It's a full. That's how big his bed is. It's a full, right? So, this is her island, right? Big Mom is about the size of my phone, right? My phone is a Galaxy S9 Plus. That's how big she is in comparison to the island, right?
Right.
Roughly. Animation is kind of hard to scale.
Yeah.
But roughly, this is how big she is, right? Her cake, let me see something. I need something, like, big. Her cake was fucking massive. Like, Her cake was
How
like...
big was it in comparison to the bed?
In comparison to the bed, okay, I'm gonna put it to you like this. This bed is her island, right?
Yeah.
The cake fell over, and it like covered about 40% of her island. That's how big the cake is.
And she was heartbroken.
Right? But here goes the part where she's genuinely fucking retarded. Okay? The cake is that big, right? Mind you, it got knocked over, it covered that much of the island, right? Then she goes on like a mad blind frenzy because her cake got knocked over, right? Then when she calms down from the frenzy, one of her subordinates says, "Hey, the One Piece crew, or not the One Piece crew, I forgot the name. The Straw Hat Pirates. Fuck, I don't know how I forgot that. That's Luffy and his crew. That's what they call each other themselves. The Straw Hat Pirates. The Straw Hats stole your cake, so you got to go get them and get your cake back." Right? That's what they tell her. Right? So then she starts chasing them to get her cake back. But the cake was sitting like right the fuck next to you, knocked over. How do you not see a cake fucking the size of an island right the fuck next to you?
And then when she's trying to go get like fucking cake, she's like, "Cake, like
yeah. I genuinely don't understand that. That's like me going home and looking at my apartment complex and then somebody telling me, "Oh, they knocked down your apartment complex. You don't have a home no more." But I'm looking at the apartment complex and I'm like, "Oh, okay.
There's my car. There's like..."
That's genuinely basically the situation that happened.
Okay.
Makes no fucking sense.
We heavily digressed because One Piece just pisses me the fuck off.
I used to be a huge One Piece fan, but now I don't I can't.
I'm sorry.
One Piece kills me now.
No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. Fuck that. Fuck that. I'm entitled. If y'all can have an opinion, I can damn sure have an opinion. Yo, fuck One Piece. It needs to end. The writer needs to just give up and figure out something new. And you know what?
Making too much money.
That's why he's doing it. He's like, look, fuck. The next fruit that's gonna be is gonna be called the rope fruit. And what it's gonna do is the guy's gonna be basically he's gonna be able to transform his body into a form of rope. And I don't know what it's gonna be made of, but I'm gonna come up with some bullshit. And he's gonna be Luffy's worst nemesis because he's gonna tie rubber up. And so that's gonna be a 5-episode plot in which Luffy's gonna have to come up with the 7th gear, which he skipped the first 2 because in the 2-year skip he actually got the gear 10, but nobody really knows it. So when he fights him, man.
So the thing is, okay, real talk. The thing is, Adrian's not that far off from how that show actually works. He's genuinely not that far off. So after the time skip, we genuinely don't know how strong the characters are. Every time a bigger threat comes along, they're just like, "Oh yeah, during my training over the 3-year skip, I learned how to do this. Why I haven't decided to do this until this moment, I don't fucking know."
Some of their feats ain't no fucking way. 3 years time, they're able to do some of that shit.
Yeah. So that's that, right? And then him coming up with like, "Oh, the rope fruit, and I'm this strong." Again, there was a dude who had the cracker fruit, who literally he could summon crackers.
No,
like
not
literal
like,
edible crackers.
Not like firecrackers.
Not firecrackers.
Fucking food.
Yes, literal crackers that you eat, right? But the thing is, he could like summon them to like be like or like living soldiers, like they could like fight, right? and he did it by clapping, like literally.
He'd be in that.
And like every clap, he would summon a soldier. Right?
He just kept making endless fucking crackers.
Hey, tell me why this nigga Luffy was stuck fighting him for like 5 episodes. And his 4th gear, which at the time was his new strongest ability, wasn't enough. This nigga's fucking summoning crackers.
Like, splash them with water. Make them
Okay,
soggy.
so what ends up happening is the crackers were ridiculously hard, so Luffy had to be like in 4th gear in order to punch them and break them, right? But breaking them wasn't enough. They would just reform and then come back together, right?
Yeah.
So this bitch Nami shows up, and Nami basically can control weather. She has like a staff that can like summon lightning, or not summon, but like create lightning and stuff like that. So she can literally manipulate weather. Right? So she comes and she makes it rain. But since they're on Whole Cake Island, yes, the name of the island is Whole Cake Island, and yes, the island is made out of edible treats.
Yep.
Wow.
Yes. So when she makes it rain, it doesn't just rain water, it rains syrup. Yeah. So all the biscuits or crackers get wet with syrup. So then Luffy is like, "Oh, I'm just gonna eat them."
Of course.
So then he basically eats the enemy into submission. Like every time he would summon a cracker, Luffy would just.
All right, I'm done. Can we? I'm about to have a brain aneurysm.
Yeah, and it was just so stupid, and people on the internet were raging. Like they were like, "This don't make sense." Fucking the biscuit, I forgot his name, but the biscuit dude, because apparently the biscuit dude was Big Mom's, like one of Big Mom's like top dogs. So they were like, this don't make no sense. How could Luffy beat him? This is stupid. This just don't make sense. The nigga's ability is to fucking summon crackers. What do you mean?
Do you see how worked up we get? Like,
yeah.
I might have to split this section and name it and use clickbait and just be like, One Piece fucking sucks. So people click that shit.
It's like, I'm sorry, like One Piece is so
like once you get us on a One Piece tangent,
like 20 minutes.
I'm sorry, it's just garbage.
It hurts my
It's
soul.
garbage.
But
Like
back to the topic. We could keep it an anime. How many anime shows have y'all watched to where y'all only watch one episode?
oh, there's a lot.
There's a good handful.
I don't
where,
ever
like,
remember
one
that-
episode was good enough. I've seen a few.
There's a few, but
Yeah.
more often than not, I get episodes. I get shows that like I don't even bother because the first episode, like you said, has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me for me to get into the show, I gotta wait basically a season?
Basically.
No, fuck that. I ain't got that kind of time. Like,
Trying to do that shit.
like no one like unless I don't work or I live with my parents or I'm just rich as fuck, I'm not gonna spend 15 episodes trying to decide if I like you or not.
Like I'll give you this. Like, so a good solid example is there are two anime that came out this season, which I fucking hate the concept of how anime works nowadays. That's a whole nother topic though. So two animes that came out this season. I might say the title slightly wrong. One was called Reunite, I believe.
Don't feel bad. They come up with the craziest fucking
And
names.
the other one was called How to Summon a Demon Lord. Both of them had a similar-esque story. They were both about people in the real world who play video games and kind of get stuck in the video game. Both kind of have very similar stories, right?
Word.
So I watched episode 1 of How to Summon a Demon Lord, right? Immediately, the show establishes that it's like a reverse pervy kind of show.
Isn't it more like
where
a
it's
slice of life in a sense?
No.
Nothing, anything crazy happens?
No, it's not. It's not a slice of life at all. It's like 100% like over the top, goofy,
okay.
quirky. And the first episode establishes that because like the concept of the show in a nutshell was that there was this guy who was a shut-in, stayed home all day every day, played this MMO, became
that's the one
best
where
fucking player.
That's
in the
one where he
game.
has two avatars, right? The one where he's like the knight, and the other where he like plays as a low level guy.
No,
that's the other one.
no.
Which one is that called?
But this one, he was like the top player in the game ever. He was like the best ever, and then these two chicks summon him like into the game as his game character though, right? But we're slowly kind of finding out that he's not in a game. He's actually in a real existing world. It's just incredibly similar to the game he played. Yeah, and they actually like summoned him, like really did a magical incantation to pull him here. But again, he's in the form of his video game character. Right? But immediately the show establishes that it's like a kind of pervy show where it's like, because he's a shut-in, so he hasn't had like a lot of female interactions, but like, because their world is different, sex is kind of different. So like one of the main character girls is an elf and she has like big ass sexy titties.
Of course.
And she's like always pushing up against them and like hugging them. And they even sleep in the same bed with him half naked.
Of course.
Yeah. So like it immediately establishes that like off the bat.
Yeah.
And then like 5 minutes into the show, it establishes like he's this broken ass OP character that fights people and does like one move and everybody's just dead. And immediately you know what kind of show it is, and you're like, this is gonna be pretty good, okay.
Do I want to watch this or not?
Exactly.
From that one episode.
Exactly, and I established like I like this show. Then there's a Reunite. I think it's called Reunite. I think I might be saying it wrong. But that one in a nutshell was about like these kids. They were like maybe like 6-7 years old, and they played an MMO together, and they became some of the best. They became their guild in the MMO became the best guild in the world on this game. But if you died in this game, your character got deleted.
Damn.
Yeah, your whole account apparently got deactivated.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was like really a high stakes game. So there was this boss in the game that was like apparently undefeatable. So they went to go fight this boss, and then one of the main character girls like sacrificed her life to save her friend, so then her avatar dies, and when her avatar dies, her account got deleted, right? So then all the characters, all the friends immediately like log out and run to her house and like, oh my god, this is so sad. You just, your fucking account got banned. You can't play anymore. That shit sucks. Turns out in real life she had a heart attack and died.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we don't know if it was the game itself, or at least maybe they've revealed that in the season so far. I have stopped watching because I established I didn't like this show because
it sounds pretty lit though.
It sounds lit, but the show is actually very, very slow paced. Even though it's a similar-esque show and it takes place like within a video game and it's like really high action, it is a really slow paced anime with a lot of dialogue, and that's not what I wanted. In episode 1, I was able to establish that, and I was like, okay, I'm done with this series.
That's what's up.
You know what I mean? So there are some anime where episode 1 is enough, but then there's others where it's like you do need. I would say most anime you need 4 or 5 episodes.
I would say that.
Yeah.
I think what I was thinking about was like live action drama, because in any episode in that, some shit should be going on.
No, I
agree.
agree. Yeah.
When I was talking about, that's why I talked about the Jessica Jones shit. Because I was like, there's literally nothing going on in this show that interests me at all. And so I was like, fuck this shit. And then there's a couple other shows that did that shit. Fucking Game of Thrones, somebody told me to watch that shit. And back then I didn't even know about, like, that was before I even went to film school and developed the analysis that I have now.
No.
So I was like, I told, my uncle told me to watch this. I said, I'll tell you what, I will watch the first episode of the first season and the last episode of the first season. And if I'm not interested, then that shit's garbage. So I watch it, the fucking first episode ends, and I'm like, what the hell kind of cliffhanger is this? Like, I don't even know who any of these fucking characters are. And then the nigga that I think is the main character, the fucking dude with the long hair with the family and shit, the only motherfucking character you can relate to, is dead in the last fucking episode of the first season. So I'm like, who the fuck are we supposed to watch now? Like, I can't relate to anybody
So
in this show.
first of all, you know you're about to get attacked on the internet, right?
I don't care.
You're about to get fucked in the ass.
No, we've done multiple podcasts on shenanigans, like this other podcast that I do where I've been like, fuck Game of Thrones.
You gotta jump on some of these, man. You gotta start inviting me to these shit. You have to.
Talk about. I can invite you to shenanigans,
You
but in
have to.
shenanigans we just be talking about like random shit.
You know
Usually,
me. You know me. You know me.
it's usually got some shit to do with AI or some TV show we watching. Like
You need.
we talk about 13 Reasons. Do you watch that shit?
I watched season 1. I was like, season 2 is a cash grab. Fuck this show. You got something. You got a beautiful story that touched the heart of millions, and now you're making money off of it.
Yeah.
I don't care what. I fuck all y'all on the internet that want to argue otherwise. Like at the end of the day, season 2 was only designed to get views. It was not designed to make deep message. No.
They emphasize on multiple like teen social problems. Like, and the one big thing that they were leading up to was that school shooting.
Okay, I haven't seen none of season 2, so I don't know what you're talking about. But I don't care.
Are you gonna watch it?
I watched season 1.
Are you gonna watch season 2?
Probably not.
Do you care if I?
Nah,
All
go
right,
for it.
we got 13 Reasons spoilers. I already did the fucking other podcast where we talked about it. Where in season 2 they basically the entire season are hyping up to what's gonna be the biggest event in the show, which is the school shooting.
Okay.
The school shooting doesn't happen. The last fucking episode, this motherfucker is coming to the school with the guns, and the main character Clay like defuses him, and he gets in a car with this other dude, the Mexican dude, I forgot his name, and they drive off, and he's like, they basically all the characters are sitting there like, oh shit's really fucked up now, but it's really not, because there wasn't an actual shooting.
See, that's the thing I can't deal with. Like, I understand, like, maybe it's a deeper point that they wanted to put across, but don't build me up for something and then just...
This is going to be the biggest event in the entire show.
And then
like,
not
that's the whole reason why I watched season 2. I'm like, this nigga Tyler about to fuck these niggas up. That's why I was hyped, nigga. And then this nigga's finally getting there on the last episode in like the last 10 minutes. And nothing happens.
That's stupid.
was
That's
like,
fucking stupid.
Fuck.
Like that's stupid.
Garbage. Like, and my friend on the other podcast is convinced that somebody in Netflix is fucking up their shows because apparently the same thing happened in Orange Is the New Black. I don't watch that.
Oh,
shit,
there's like a big build up and then...
for an entire season, and then nothing happens at the end. So
maybe they both have a similar writer or something.
Yeah, maybe.
'Cause-
She was like, we started the podcast. She said, I'm convinced there's somebody going around fucking up these Netflix
No,
shows.
recently there actually was this article I read basically stating that Netflix shows are kind of going under heat right now because like there's a few different issues going on. One, they were saying that a lot of the shows are ending very anticlimactically, which is basically what you're saying now.
Yeah.
And then two,
I'm back,
where and then two, where they were saying that a lot of the people, and this is actually a point that I don't agree with, but another issue with the Netflix shows that people are saying is that the shows are having a lot of like empty filler episodes before the story actually kicks off. And they were mainly kind of targeting the Marvel shows, but they were saying like, oh, the new Netflix shows overall. And I was like, I actually like that to a degree with a live action show, that is. You know, with a show that actually involves people that has a human element to it. Obviously, if the show does not have a human element, then I don't want there to be a human element. But like any show that has a genuine human element, I do want 1 or 2 episodes of monotony, 1 or 2 episodes of just...
Well, it breaks it up.
Yeah, it gives me a reason to connect to the show. Not even to the character, but to the show.
I mean, if it's... So there's like a main problem in a show, and then they have like side stories and shit that you could focus on those side stories or the characters. Just focus on the characters. That's cool. Like, put the main problem to the side for.
So is this like a filler?
You gotta get back to that
kind of thing?
Like, kind of, sort of. Well,
okay,
no,
so
the topic isn't necessarily fillers. It was just like Netflix shows in general. There's got to be like somebody fucking them up on purpose, and that was one of the things that I read an article about that they were saying was like stupid. And like one of the things that they talked about is like if you watch like Luke Cage season 2, again they were kind of targeting the Marvel shows, but they said like it's been happening overall with Netflix. But like if you watch Luke Cage.
13 Reasons Why they fucked up the season 2.
Oh.
My friend was telling me Orange Is the New Black fucked up.
Yeah.
Another season.
Yeah, Orange Is the New Black, they fucked it. Because it was good.
Yeah, and if you watch the season 2 of Luke Cage, the first like 3 episodes are literally about nothing. It's just Luke Cage is basically like, there's drugs in Harlem, I want to, get rid of the drugs. But it's like not actually part of the story in any way. It's just him being him. That's it. Then like episode 3, 4-ish, the story starts to like, kind of reveal itself. It starts to like picking up steam. And I kind of liked that because again, it showed me what Luke Cage has been up to since season 1 or since Defenders, It showed me what's going on with the world. It gave me a little bit of time to get connected to the series instead of immediately season 1, I'm the villain, I'm doing this. Right. You know what I mean? Like that, like...
Okay, yeah.
That's like shell shock. It's like, bam, get ready.
I could agree with that.
And I like that. Or like a big series that people said was like horrible for this was Altered Carbon. I don't know if either one of you have seen Altered Carbon.
I've seen a little bit because when you guys talked about it,
it's an amazing series. I love it. I recommend it to anyone that likes anything kind of sci-fi techno-ish. I really love it. It has some really psychological kind of things that you can like kind of question. They're not super apparent, but when you're digging in, you're like, wow, that's something to think about. The end of the season kind of gets a little bit too climactic or a little bit too epic that I wanted it to get, but that's me personally. I will say overall I give the show a solid 8.5 to maybe a 9 out of 10. Good show, but a lot of people were like, it took like 4.5, 5 episodes to get started. But I fucking liked that. Bit of a spoiler, really quickly. In this world, you have these discs that are inside your neck. All of your consciousness is stored on this disc. So if that body dies, you can put that disc in a different body and basically pick up where you left off.
Wow.
Right? And a way that they put people in prison is they take your disc out of your body and they basically put you on a shelf for X amount of years. right? That's like that is the prison
That's
system.
like the simplest way of fucking somebody up.
Yeah. So the show starts off with this like ex-military dude who wakes up after 500 years of being in prison, right?
Wow.
But the only reason he gets woken up is because this like rich dude, ridiculously rich dude, was murdered. And he knows he was murdered. And I know that's an interesting concept because he was murdered, but then his stack, that's what they call him, stacks. His stack was just put in another body, and now he's like, okay, I'm back alive, but who murdered me?
Who the fuck killed me?
So the whole show is basically about, you don't have to wait, baby. The whole show... The whole show is basically about...
Damn, I went out and answered my phone. I ain't seen her in too long. You live with her.
I live with mine, so that's why I can afford to say
was
she can wait.
She called and said, hey, baby, hey, love.
But
I miss you.
Damn.
The show is basically about the military dude solving the murder of who murdered this guy. That's essentially what the show starts off about. I won't spoil the second like story that picks up, but that's the first chunk of the story, right? But the first like 3 episodes maybe, it was like he wasn't doing the mystery. He wasn't doing it. But to me, I liked that because the show, he literally woke up from a 500-year essentially cryo sleep. You think he's about to just go start doing whatever he's supposed to? No.
Right.
He's about to go out and eat and get some pussy and go do other human shit.
Like, look, man, I've been asleep for how long? I don't even know. Are they even aware of how long they've been asleep?
No, they're not.
That's kind of...
He woke up and the first thing he said is, what year is it?
You know what's funny? How is that really a prison? I'm not even conscious of the
That's
fact
what I
that
said. I
I'm
was
in
like, that's a dumbass
You're
prison
not really
sentence.
suffering.
Like, they show, like, when the show starts, they show the character, like, in this weird, like, cerebral water ocean thing.
In the second place.
Yeah, like, yeah, in a sunken place, basically. But it was like, it didn't look painful at all. It actually looked very elegant and peaceful. Yeah. So,
well, because like
what
they wake up,
is this a prison?
and well, that scene makes it seem like they're conscious of being in prison. But then when they wake up, they're like, what happened?
Yeah, I think you are kind of like conscious that you're not conscious, if that makes sense. You're like aware that you're not
a weird
aware.
oxymoron, whatever kind of.
But as soon as he woke up, he like starts spazzing out, and then when they calm him down, he's like, "How long has it been? What year is it?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's year such and such. It's been like 500 years."
God damn.
And it was like, and then he at one point he basically states that felt like moments.
Yeah.
So I was like, in what sense is that fucking going to prison?
It's not.
Like, he didn't even suffer.
You didn't serve your
You didn't serve a sentence. You're supposed to get out of prison or do your sentence and be like, okay, I was in prison. That was a chunk of my life gone. But even with the way the world is set up, you're basically immortal.
You get a younger body. Now, of course, if you were poor, you got them cheap ass bodies.
Yeah, no, if you were poor, you don't even get a cheap body, you get a loner body.
Yeah.
Which is basically just the last person who died.
Yeah. It's like,
No,
what happened?
literally,
Oh, they died of
that's
cancer.
how the world works. Like, because you have to sign up for the program. It's like a government program, and you sign up for it. And if you sign up for it, every time you die, they'll put you in a new body. Now, if you're rich, you can buy specific bodies.
Right.
And if you're super, ultra, mega, ridiculously rich, you can actually have your original body cloned. And every time you come back, get back in your cloned body and be, fine. But if you're the normal people of the world, you literally get whatever body they give you. So, like, in the series, there's this funny moment where the dude's waking up or whatever, and he's sitting next to this, like, 70-year-old woman, and he, like, pulls out a cigarette, and he's like, "You want one?" And she looks at him like he's crazy. And at first, you're like, he just offered you a cigarette, calm the fuck down, right? But then later, it's revealed that it's a 7-year-old girl in that body. Because she was hit by a car, and the parents couldn't afford a good body. So
I would have I'm sorry, I would have let her die. I'm like, you got to stay dead. I'm not bringing you back. Some things are worse than death.
Do your thing.
Yes.
But I can chop all this up and like split it. But like,
It's all good.
because it's over an hour.
That's what's up. Hey, it was a better discussion than I thought it was gonna be.
I mean, when you have us in the
really
room,
Yeah,
like
us in the room talking about shit.
yeah, like we went on like a
discussion.
30-minute One Piece tangent by itself. So like, I mean,
I was gonna say, just shoot out some shows that you watched a random episode and then you started watching immediately.
fuck. Like,
For me,
randomly,
I could tell you, my mom and my uncle were watching Power, and I was immediately hooked. I don't even remember which episode it was, but I was like, "Holy shit!"
which one is Power?
Power's it's the show with 50 Cent. The fucking
Oh, I heard it was good. I've
Love
actually
Fast
never,
Dude.
I've never actually sat down and watched
nigga,
it.
that shit fire, bro. You gotta watch that shit, boy.
I hate to admit
That
it, but there's
shit's
one
fire.
show like I fucking can't stand because I actually like it. So disclaimer, I'm the type of person that like no matter what you put on, somehow I get sucked into it. Like my
Really?
girl be watching The Bachelor, I get sucked into it. Like I start cussing dudes out on the show. Like I would never expect it. Like they're okay, but I'm not gonna go on a long digress like he does. But there was one black dude on there. She's like, I love him because like he's sweet, he's genuine. And then when a different girl came in, he started doing that black dude thing when you start licking your lips and plotting. I was like, I knew it. I knew that motherfucker was playing games. But like she looked at me, she's like, baby, calm down. I'm like, no, fuck him. Like
in the show.
so like.
That's hilarious. I guess for you, it really don't. Like,
It doesn't. I'm the weird. That's why I always play the middle guy because I'm the weird dude that like,
Yeah.
unless like.
I could be watching some shit and be like, "What the fuck is this garbage, bro?"
Exactly. No, I'm more so like that with anime than I am with regular shows. Believe it or not, because with anime, I get it. Like in the beginning, like first of all, the names usually put me off, and I'm not saying I hate anime. I grew up watching anime, but like it'll be like the name will be called TV Busters, right? I'm just throwing something out there, right? And you're like, okay, what the fuck is this about? First episode, it had nothing to do with TVs or Busters. It's like a cat in a room and a dude talking about how like his dog died 5 years ago, and then he meets his friend Sokiyami or some shit,
Yeah.
and then they go out to eat, and that's the first episode. But then at the very end of the episode, something big happens, and then you're introduced to the main thing, and then it
Right.
slowly picks up. I don't like the random shit in the beginning. Give me, even if it's a little bit of something, give me something that kind of like within the first 15 minutes, like, okay, that's why that's the title.
I mean, if it has to do with the story, because this one anime that hooked me like years ago was called, and nobody knows about this shit. It's called Abenabashi Magical Shopping Arcade. And it's
Fuck, I
got
meant
the
to
fucking-
watch that, and I never got around to
Nigga.
it. I never got around to
That's
it.
like, that's probably my favorite anime aside from like Cowboy Bebop.
Really?
That shit's great.
Oh, okay.
It's got all kind of references.
Well, that's the thing about anime too, though, is like, although I hate when they don't give it to me kind of immediately in anime, it's like the first episode ties into the last one. They're really good at doing that. You find out the first
That's how that show
episode was like,
it only had one season, which was whack. I wish it had way more.
yeah, they need
But,
more.
Yeah, they definitely did that. In
Like,
that show.
I'm trying to think of shows that I watch, like Big Mouth. That's an animated series that I watch. That Big
That
Mouth
shit's
is like,
hilarious.
yeah, like the first episode got me. I was like, okay, what is
Yeah, that's
this?
some shit.
I
That's
already-
because that's like, here's our show. Every episode is gonna be disgusting.
Well, the crazy part about it though is it talked about, it was really about real life issues like puberty and growing up and like things that most people have gone through or are going through. They just did it in a real like we're not censoring half of anything we do unless we have to. So
It's in
that
this outrageous way with this fucking perverted monster
yeah,
character.
yeah. Oh, there is a show that I really liked, but it became just trash. Like I don't know if it was season 2 or mid-season. Like I binge watched this shit. Lie to Me. I don't know if you heard of Lie to Me. Okay, basically.
I mean, I've heard the title. But I
Yeah,
never
the
tried to
summary
watch
of the
it.
show is this guy, and this guy is really good at reading micro expressions. So when they're catching criminals, it's like little things you say, like when you're talking to somebody, like your finger will twitch or your eyebrow will do a thing, you're not aware of it. They're trained to catch that, and that's how they solve like these crazy, intricate like murders or conspiracies or what have you.
Right.
So like the first episode, it was just this guy reading tiny, minute, like fraction movements in this person's face. He was like, "Oh, you actually lied because you weren't here yesterday." I was like, "How the fuck you figure that out?" Until they like show you, like it's like he seems psychic, but then you find out, oh, he's actually reading the human body. And then it was like really interesting. You find out some crazy shit. Then for some reason, this dude ends up in Iraq. Some other shit. You're just like, all right, this shit just went downhill.
Wow.
It became like really weird. But Lie to
One
Me
thing we
was
have
one
to
of those.
factor in about these shows is that like writers get fired and they bring different
Right,
people on
yeah,
and shit
and,
like
and
that.
people like everyone's guilty of it. Like we sometimes unfairly judge a show not knowing what's going on
Yeah,
behind the
what's
scenes.
internally going on.
Yeah, because like you said, a director could have been like, "Look, fuck you" as a writer, or the writer can be like, "Look, this show is not what I wanted it to be." They switch them out, then you don't find out till later that like they switched
Like,
out 5 writers
shit
and
happened.
an actor didn't like, But Lie to Me was definitely one of them. I got hooked instantly until it became
Lie to Me
garbage.
was a good series.
I didn't like it like midway when he went to Iraq or whatever he went. I didn't like it after that.
Watch it that far in, but I stopped watching it though because it got repetitive.
Yeah,
it got painfully repetitive. That's why I can't watch like none of those like CSI shows or like
people swear by those though.
Like because every episode is the exact same thing.
Criminal Minds is the worst.
It's the exact same thing every single like
because they had my cousin used to watch every episode of that shit when it came on TV. They used to run marathons of it.
Yeah.
Shit. Every fucking episode.
You know what I think
it's
it
the
is?
same
It's because people want to feel like people genuinely want to feel smart. Like, have you ever sat and watched it with somebody that's super into it? Like every 5 minutes, they're like, I bet it was him. I bet that's under the bed.
And it's like, yeah, you know,
I knew it. I told you.
I know you knew it. You watched this show for the last 8 years, and you know the formula. It's the same shit.
Like, the only one I'll give a pass is Law and Order, because it's like the original. You know what I mean?
That's the classic.
Like, Law and Order is like, Law and Order used to stomp the fuck out of me. Now it's CSI. After a while, it's technology. Yeah, people sit. I've sat there and be like, I bet.
Or is CSI the one where there's different cities?
Miami. Fucking.
So like that part really fucks me up. It's like it's the exact same show in a different location.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think that really makes a big difference?
I just think,
what's the difference? In this one, they're in New York and they're talking about the murder in a taxi, whereas in this one, they're on the fucking 101 freeway.
I've sat
in traffic.
What
the fuck is the difference?
I've listened to people defend it. Well, this one's in Miami and the climate's different, and over here there's like different kinds of groups of people. I'm like, what?
Yeah, so in one episode, they're talking about, so the body, it's hard to identify because in New York, it's slightly colder, so it deteriorated faster. And in the other episode, they're like, oh, well, we're in Florida, so it's hard to identify the body because it's hot in Florida.
The humidity
so the body deteriorated faster.
And I'm like, you know what I mean? And in that sentence right there, I'm like, well, first of all, if you're in California and it drops in the middle of the night, it could get just as cold, if not colder.
Yeah, well, my thing is, like, they argue the same point.
Yeah, it's literally
different, and I air quote here.
Heavy air quotes.
Heavy air quotes because of the location.
Super heavy. Like his whole body was moving.
Law and Order's doing some shit where they do like historical cases now. I think that shit's interesting.
Okay, that's cool.
Even though I don't watch them.
Law and Order's like,
I'm like, this
they're
is
the OG.
different.
They're like the OG of like, look here, figure it out. Like, you know,
but like the Menendez
or like,
murders.
Another one that I actually will say was pretty good is Blacklist. Blacklist is actually pretty good.
I never tried
because that show is not truly based on it's based on real life, but they get the things of real life and kind of bend them, not in the sense of like superheroes or superpowers or anything supernatural, but in the sense of like laws and rules and the ways that things work and how people can get away with things. They kind of bend it. So with them bending the rules, it kind of allows the show to not do the same formula every episode. Because overall, what the show is about, like, without giving away the actual, like, deeper story, just like the story on the surface, it's about there's this guy who's the number one wanted suspect on America's, like, most wanted list, and he makes a deal with the FBI to help him catch all of his partners and everyone else.
For what, diplomatic immunity?
Basically.
Yeah.
Right? So then every show essentially kind of has the same setup where it's like, so this is the next guy on the list. This is what he does for a living, and this is why he's wanted. Okay, let's figure out how to get him. But again, since they kind of bend the rules and each character is different, it kind of pans out different. So like this guy might be like a mafia boss. So the way they catch him is just go in guns blazing. They just have a gunfight, kill all his
The other guy might have a family or something.
Yeah, where like this other guy is like a drug trafficker, but he doesn't actually get hands on. He is like you said, he just sits at home and gives like the orders and he's with his family. So then they'll send in like some secret double fucking triple cover agent to be his maid for 2 months.
Wow.
Some shit like that.
That makes it intricate,
It actually makes an intricate episode to episode. You know, so that one was actually, I kind of recommend that one. That one's pretty good.
That reminds me, because he was saying name shows that caught you. Now,
on a random episode.
Yeah, House caught me when it first came out.
Oh, yeah.
House. When that first came out, I was like,
I tried to watch House, but
well, it
makes you think way too hard, because this nigga's way too smart.
Well, hold on. I was going to say,
but
there's House and The Good Doctor. I don't know if you heard of The Good Doctor.
I've heard of The Good Doctor, but I've never watched it.
I've never watched it, but I was on Facebook randomly like 2 days ago, and there was this doctor who like somebody had like a heart attack, some shit happened, and he MacGyvered the surgery basically. I'm not kidding. He took like a shoe, like a fucking straw basically, put it in this dude's chest. But you find out it's not that he's smart because he's autistic or something like that. Like there was a reason. It wasn't that he was some super genius asshole prick house. It was just like, I was like, So I had to check that out. Like that, just by the trailer, caught my attention. Because he ended up finding out, they do a very short, you know how they do pans of like different parts of the episode? Mm-hmm. There was one where, no joke, he essentially, just by looking at a person and like listening to something, figured out there was a shard of glass in somebody's heart. And they literally did surgery. They're like, no, it's not. And they pulled it out. I was like, damn. Fuck, how?
What?
Yeah, see?
I mean, it just sounds ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous that you're like, I'd watch it just to see how bullshitty it is.
So when you say a random episode, can it not be episode 1?
Like pilot or okay.
Oh, so episodes ones are still okay?
Because to my point, you should be able to watch any episode of a show.
I agree with that. A good show, you can jump in anywhere, and you may not understand what's going on, but you'll still say, I want to watch this.
Yeah, whatever it is. Like I'm sitting here.
Why is this person doing this to this person?
Exactly. Yeah. But a good one though, and I can't believe I'm gonna say this, is there's two actually. I'm gonna give you two back to back.
Oh God.
And
have I watched it?
I reluctantly.
I've seen them both.
One is The Strain, and two is Van Helsing. So the shows within themselves are really corny and bad, but the way they're set up.
He blew up that grenade.
So The Strain, I liked it because I was explaining this to Adrian. So the thing about post-apocalyptic shows that I got bored of is that with post-apocalyptic shows, it's always a story after the apocalypse. It's always like, even if it starts beforehand, even if it starts in modern day, and then the apocalypse happens, the primary focus of the show is the apocalypse. The fact that world is at an end and we're all trying to survive. That's what most post-apocalyptic shows are about. Whereas The Strain is about how the apocalypse came to be. And that's what I liked. What happened to actually make the apocalypse happen, and what were we doing to try to fight it, combat it, whatever the case may be. And that's what I like.
I never actually tried to watch it.
It's a pretty good show, and it's 4 seasons, and it ends. Not like 4 seasons and it was canceled. Or maybe it was canceled, and then they decided to wrap it up, because the wrap-up was kind of quick.
Yeah, it was very fucking fast.
But yeah, like it actually, like the series actually genuinely ends, right? But in the 4th season is when the actual apocalypse happens.
True.
Just during season 4. Seasons 1, 2, and 3, it's like on the precipice of the apocalypse. The outbreak is happening, it's going on, and shit's getting real, but it's not quite the apocalypse yet. We still got a chance to stop it. Yeah, and then another thing that I did like with both shows is that they're vampire shows, but it's formulated in the form of a zombie show. Which was just interesting to see that dynamic, because usually when you see vampires, they're like intricate and detailed and like kind of somewhat pseudo-elegant. You know what I mean? And they're like really kind of underneath the radar. You know what I mean? But this show was like, nope, we mobbing.
Yeah, basically.
Like straight up, we mobbing. Like, and I really kind of liked it. Same thing with Van Helsing, where it was really set up like a zombie apocalypse, not so much like a vampire apocalypse. But like I said, the acting in both of them is kind of hit or miss. It's kind of subpar. The writing is kind of corny.
No, Van Helsing.
Van Helsing, the writing is, it's a sci-fi show. That should explain it enough.
I'm still mad that homeboy fucked my chick though. In the fucking van when they were trapped, I was like, remember I was like, don't do it.
Yup.
Oh, wait. All right. So in Van Helsing, there was this.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. There is a specific vampire. For some reason, he has to scream at every fucking. Okay, no joke. No joke. I'm not gonna do the main one we always die when he falls on his knees. There's one where these people are in a forest and all you hear is like, and then he's like, that must be him. He screams so much that just by the scream, you know who this guy is. Like, He's weird. He walks like all
weird.
crooked, and like he'll be walking to be like, ah! And then fucking. But like, if I saw that by itself in one episode, I'd be like, "What the fuck show is this?" And I would watch it because he's fucking weird.
He's fucking weird and interesting. Yeah, he's really fucking weird.
That's probably why I did. He's like, "People will watch me."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "You're right. You're crazy.
Like, you're fucking a crazy ass zombie."
Yeah.
Or like even Dimitri, the like main zombie.
Oh, yeah.
He was such a weak ass like
Yeah, he had
elegant zombie.
He had like the worst Transylvanian.
Yeah, like
Russian
it was
accent.
a weak ass like Transylvanian Russian.
It was
and he
bad.
was like a wannabe elegant, and it was so bad you want to see more.
Yeah, it was so bad it was
Like
good.
it was so bad.
Like arguably, if they made a series of Ricky O, I would see.
I'd
Have you
watch
seen Ricky O?
Yeah.
Worst fucking movie ever, but it's so delightfully bad.
I haven't watched the entire movie. But I've
Oh
seen clips
boy,
of it.
Like-
it gets so much.
When I
worse.
read that they used so much prosthetic blood or fake blood that the actual actor was stained red for 2 days, I was like, that's ridiculous.
When you watch it, you're like, yeah, that's about
Yeah,
right.
when you see it, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, so much fake blood was used in the show. The main actor was literally, his skin was stained red
Well, and that's
for
the-
like 2 days.
And
That's ridiculous.
in that regards, it's the sheer ridiculousness, and that's arguably why so many quote unquote reality TV shows do so well.
Yeah, because it's the level
because
of
the level of
audacity.
crazy. Like,
Yeah.
what was it? Alexa was here last week, and I walked in and she was watching Flavor of Love. I don't know if any of you watched that,
Oh,
right?
that fucking
Yeah, way
show.
back.
Exactly.
You
You hear
actually
that?
watching
You-
it
yeah,
now.
you hear
bro.
That fucking show.
Alexa is very nostalgic. So she was like, I watched it as a kid. She's like, I just turn it on because she gets bored and just like, put something on. And tell me why. The first episode, I was just. I already know what was gonna happen. I know who won. I know who didn't win. But like the sheer fact of like the reality TV shows with the drama. Like people love drama. People love people fighting each other.
Well, that show also was like half naked, thick ass females, which
Yeah.
was amazing.
Shit, nobody was Hoops though.
Yeah, that's true. And delicious.
Nah, Hoops, man.
Hoops are delicious.
I was Team
I
Hoops.
barely
It's-
remember any of them other
Is
bitches.
You don't remember
I
Hoops?
think
Only
it's,
remember
I think it's
New York.
Hoops. I think it's Hoops, but my sister met one of them in real life.
pretty
I
much-
think it was Hoops.
I pretty much only remember New York. Like,
Well, that's because
she
New
had
York
the
had her
show
own
after,
show,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, also she got spit on
She
by
was,
the white chick.
and she
The
was
most-
runner up, right? Wasn't she
Yeah.
runner up?
here's
That's
the thing,
Hoops,
though.
though. Now.
Let me see. Is that her?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one my sister met. My sister met her in real life.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's
give,
the bitch.
give it the
Wait.
give it the Latin seal of approval. Say the F word. Tell me what she is. Say it.
What's another word for hot?
Go ahead, Latin.
What makes shit hot?
Fire.
Yes.
That bitch is fire.
It's just fire. It's like his catchphrase.
Yo.
I feel like I've
Fire.
seen her like
In real life?
nah.
Don't tell me
like,
that.
in other movies and shit.
No, real talk. Like I said, my sister met her in real life, like at a diner.
And she's
somewhere.
like a boxer.
That's crazy.
Too. I'm done. but like, I don't know.
It's when you learn how that shit works.
I wonder if he
kinda-
fucked any of them. I'm sorry.
New York.
I wonder if he.
New
really-
York for sure, because New York was like playing the part. Like New York
Like-
did everything she did on purpose.
Yeah, I wonder if he
That's
really got to
insane.
fuck any of them.
She was nuts.
I would have been fucking every one of them like every night,
hell
like
yeah.
every bitch on that. Like
Here's the only thing is he never know with the shows.
Yeah.
And they never.
It was funny to
I'm sorry
watch it
because
because
Flavor Flav, he's a busted ass nigga.
well, you know
It
what
ain't
was
no,
funny? We
it
were
ain't
watching
no
it.
secret that
We
nigga's
were,
ugly.
we were watching it. Alexa's like, she'd be like, oh, he looks fine there, and then he would turn around. She's like, ooh, he's rough.
He's a busted ass nigga. Like,
But you know
that's
what?
why this show was so outrageous.
I
It's
would
like,
hang out
these
with him
bitches
though.
Really want that nigga?
Like if he was like that all the time in real life, I would hang out with him. I would show him
Flavor
in a
Flav.
like this dude would be in a
yeah, boy.
this dude would show up in a grocery store with like fucking big ass goggles, a fucking Viking hat, and a cape. Who the fuck?
You gotta remember the signature clock.
Yeah, and
You always gotta have a big ass.
a different clock for a different fucking day.
He always gotta have a big ass clock.
Honestly, I'd be
Flavor Flav.
like, look,
that crack you up so hard.
who is this dude? I'm like, hey, this is my best friend right here. Fuck that.
This nigga always gotta have a big ass. like, okay. So look, I get it. Back in the day during like the 80s and the 90s or whenever this nigga was relevant.
That's his thing.
Well, he's
like,
the godfather of hype man.
I understand back in the day, having like over animated shit was dope. Like the big ass, ridiculously thick chains, or like you got a big ass watch, big ass belt buckles. Like I get it. But they were always items that can like kind of made sense, or like something I would actually wear. Just exaggerate. Like this nigga got a clock. I'm like, why a clock? And if I remember correctly, none of them niggas worked.
No.
None of the clocks even worked. They would just be a clock.
It would be funny watching him go to his wardrobe, because it would consist of some goofy ass helmet, some fucked ass glasses, a cape of some sort, and just a clock.
And he always had something like either a cape or a jacket. Or like something big, long as fuck.
There was one time he went to like this medieval thing. I remember this specifically. This nigga showed up in a crown.
Yeah, like, and the crown,
a stick, and so
none of his shit ever fits. That's the part that really fucks me up. He'll wear like all of his hats don't fit on his head. They're like big, awkward, and
that right there is why I would
always hanging off.
That's why he would be one of my closest friends. Because how the fuck could you have a bad day with him around?
You can't.
You can't.
As soon as you get upset, flavor. Oh my. Like, as soon as you get mad at something.
There was one episode where I think he really did smash New York, and like she was walking away. This nigga went to the balcony with like, I don't know if it was a bottle, and he goes, Flavor Flav. Like everybody heard him.
Because his old ass got some.
Yeah, he was.
It's crazy, bro. The kind of shit they set up.
Like that shit was so funny.
Like it was so crazy. He got a season 2.
God.
My thing is, does he fuck with the clock on?
He might.
Like,
I mean, he's the godfather of hype.
I gotta like flip
like
back.
he's the original hype man.
He is.
I was reading. I was like, this nigga literally got relevant because he just kept shouting his name. That's what the fuck. That's why he got relevant.
Like, and then what is your Flavor Flav?
It don't even make sense.
Flavor Flav. It's funny because to digress real hard. Every time I say Flavor Flav, it makes me think of that. Do y'all remember that show on Nickelodeon named Chalk Zone?
No.
Okay, so it was this show about this kid who used to get bullied.
Oh,
and
God.
one of the episodes, he ends up finding like a magic piece of chalk, and whatever he would draw would come to life.
Yeah.
But then he figured out if he would just draw a circle, it would create a portal to this area called Chalk Zone, where it's an entire world made of chalk, and anything and everything that was ever erased on a chalkboard is in this world.
Wow.
That's intense.
Yeah.
Holy
shit.
So then he ends up actually bumping into his childhood drawing of like this crappy looking superhero. And it was like this little blue looking dude with like a punk ass cape. And it was like this thing he drew when he was like 3. And that ends up being like the sidekick of the show for the entire series.
Yeah.
But the reason when I say Flavor Flav, I think of that show is because one of the signatures that show would do is at the end of every episode there was a music video. Like legit, like a real ass music video.
Wow.
Yeah, like, and it would be like the characters from the show.
Don't tell me they're rapping.
Sometimes there was this chick named Rap Shiva.
Come on, man.
That was her name, Rap Shiva.
This is why I didn't watch.
She was like a kind of a pseudo Jamaican character.
Oh my God.
She was made of chalk. I swear that was some kid who just wanted to fuck real bad. Cause she was a sexy ass like chalk drawing. I gotta show y'all a picture. Like,
well, you know what's funny?
up.
You could do so much with that concept. Cause what if he was a disturbed kid and drew dark shadows when he grew up?
let me see.
I mean,
And fucking evil stickman and shit.
it's-
Go ahead,
it's
go
a
to
ton
the
of-
portal. Have your worst nightmares confront you. Fuck that. But
with a bunch of them shows, you have some fucked up.
Well, like shows like I was saying, like especially reality TV. I kind of don't put reality TV in like the concept, like as far as judging it first episode, because most of them you watch first episode, you're kind of hooked because they know what they're doing. It's the same formula. It's like there's gonna be drama, half naked bitches, and people fighting. If you don't watch that, you are not American or whatever the fuck. It's like, oh, all right, well, I guess I'm hooked.
like,
But I didn't finish real quick.
That's raw entertainment.
The reason I would think about it is there's this one episode where they were talking about the flavor of berries, and one of the like choruses they would be like, "It's flavors, flavory, it's flavors, flavor." Yeah. So then whenever I say Flavor Flav, it makes me think of that.
Wow, that is a fucking throwback right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Holy
let me
shit.
see.
Your girl gonna be mad?
I'm pretty sure it was
Nah, I
Rap.
thought it
I'm
was
really
kinda
cool.
like-
It was Rap Shiva.
I thought I would be there before 8.
Or was it just Shiva?
Rap Shiva.
It was something like that.
That's some wild shit.
Man, I'm trying to think of another show that
Okay.
hooked me.
Oh, I can give you a couple off the bat. Power, I was telling this. Do you watch that Power, Nick? I told this motherfucker.
Oh,
about that.
with
Fitty.
Fitty? Nah. That's Rap Shiva.
Oh, shit.
That's Rap Shiva.
Why is she so thick?
Oh,
That's what I said!
She's thick as
She
fuck.
thick as fuck! Like, some kid was like, he was just horny in class and he drew this shit on the chalkboard. Like,
What the fuck was he watching? Who was he seeing?
shit.
like,
I was watching them music videos.
So I gotta check out Power.
and in like certain episodes,
that-
she would be
I
like,
know. What?
she'd be like slightly, like drawn slightly different on like different episodes. So like sometimes they'd make her slightly taller, but she was always thick as fuck, like sexy as fuck.
That's fucking insane.
With like thick ass sexy lips and some dreads. Like every time, like I'm telling
But the
you.
fact that they named her Rap Shiva.
But yeah, she would rap. Like whenever she was in the music video, she would rap.
That's what's up.
Ugh. Fuck.
I was gonna pass on Power just because 50 Cent was in it, but that shit's like.
Turns out
too
he's not.
fire.
It turns out he's not that bad
He plays.
himself.
No, he plays a fucking gangsta ass motherfucker.
Himself,
Like,
basically.
Nah, this fucking character wouldn't even like.
And that's the main cast.
Oh yeah, that shit look familiar.
that's the kid that finds the chalk. That's the like chalk drawing.
Yeah.
And then that's just some
That shit
girl
looks
that
familiar.
was like his
Yeah, it
friend.
does look familiar. I mean, 50 was like
Plays an evil ass character, pretty much.
he gets to play who he wants to be. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
because he executive produced it.
Do he drink
Uh,
vitamin water?
That shit be
fucking
hilarious.
plug his own shit in there. Man, come on.
Nah, he sold that shit. Coke owns that shit now.
How much he sell it for?
I don't even know.
Don't be stupid, 50.
that he sold it a while back, but he made a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, and 50 smart
Probably
though.
still, yeah, he probably still own a little piece of it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't give them all of my shares.
Hell no.
You must be insane. But
Yeah, but that show is fire though.
okay.
And then Spartacus,
Yeah, that's the
fire ass.
That's the like Greek Spartan show.
Yeah.
I
Well,
tried
it's
to
not,
watch-
It's not really Spartans.
Well, yeah, not
It's-
Spartan, like Gladiator. I meant to say
Yeah.
Gladiator. There we go. I tried to watch some of it. It was a pretty good
Is that
show.
the one where
It's
dudes
good.
are always fucking each other?
I mean, not always.
Okay, that's the
But
one
it's
where
like-
dudes are fucking each other.
He said, I mean,
It's
not
just
always.
like the culture back then is like
Well, yeah,
they
was
weren't
no-
gay.
Yeah, they weren't
Yeah,
gay or
or
sex or
straight.
straight.
They
It was
just
just
fuck,
I want to
like-
get my dick wet.
Yeah, so
And if it's gonna happen in your booty hole, it's gonna happen in your booty hole.
damn, that's prison before prison. Shit.
And it was like niggas was happy to do it. It wasn't
And they're
rape.
just like,
Yeah.
that was the purpose of the show, to just show how fucking
Do you
fucked up it was back then.
do you think we'd be better off as a society if we had kept those?
Actually, yeah.
You think so?
I mean,
yeah, because all the aggression would just be
I had a
gone.
discussion about this with my girl, and she was talking about like these motherfuckers. Like it was better back then because they didn't give a fuck about gay or race.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
But at the same time, like they owned slaves. Like they killed motherfuckers for entertainment.
Well, they traded one like political incorrectness for another.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very accurate.
That's what it was.
That
And
was my
literally,
point,
that's what
like-
we did over time. Now we're against slavery, but you know I can't
No,
fuck a
we-
dude. I'm gay.
Yeah.
I
Can
mean,
we
it's
bring back
becoming
just
more,
swords
like,
and shit?
accepted, but at
Oh.
the same time, we definitely need.
Side note: Texas made that shit legal to just carry
A sword?
the swords and shit. I'm not sure how true that is, but Texas is like, because Texas is basically if anyone's gonna become lawless, Texas is gonna be the first.
Yeah.
Damn.
Because Texas was like, look, y'all want to carry swords and shit? Fuck it. Somebody was like, we can finally have a MMO in real life.
I'd rather motherfuckers carry swords and shit than fucking AR-57s and shit.
Dude, tell me why I was doing security and some dude who was like thugging, quote unquote. He was like, oh yeah, so what happens in California, man? Like, what happens if I'm like rolling around with like ARs and M14s and M16s or whatever. And I was like, you realize those are military grade weapons. If anybody catches you anywhere, you're fucked.
Your ass is going to jail.
You're fucked.
Like, I basically told him, like, why are you driving around with that anyway? He's like, I'm trying to bang. I'm like, well, if you get, I was like, what's your car look like? If they pull you over, you're fucked regardless. It doesn't matter what state you go to. Do it in Texas, you are fucked. Fucked.
Where is he from?
I don't know. I didn't ask him. Because he asked me where I was from. I'm like, look, I'm not from here. I just left it at that.
I was just on YouTube and saw the ad from fucking Jimmy Kimmel, who took like 10 minutes or so to fucking do a rant. He was crying about the shooting in Vegas.
Damn.
Like, apparently a motherfucker... He didn't really say how many people died, but he was like 500 motherfuckers were affected by it. Some motherfucker in a hotel shot out the windows and then shot down at a concert.
Oh, you're talking about...
crying.
That was, yeah, because who Alexa was in Vegas that weekend. As a matter of fact, they just weren't at that area. But it was some older guy. They had seen a woman come out of there, and they thought she was like an accomplice. But I guess this old man just said, fuck it. And just was like, I hate everything. Everybody got to die. And just started shooting
crazy
people.
shit.
Because I don't condone it, but at the same time, I'm not the kind of person who just, like, if you do a heinous act like that, because they were all saying, like, he never showed signs. And that's usually how it is. Like, he could have been bottling, like, his work life, his home life. He could have just snapped. Like, you don't know what makes people be like, I'm going to shoot up this place. You don't really fucking know.
That's true.
So to say that they're inherently evil is bullshit. Like, unless, you know, you're like Charles Manson or some shit. But, like, even then, there's always some kind of catalyst before they do that shit. But yeah, like, he just, like, they said he had, like, guns. Like, they said he had just guns.
This nigga was strapped.
Like, he prepared. He's like, I'm gonna unload every clip I got.
My thing is, like, I understand, like, you know, you got shit bottled up and, you know, you need to release it and you figure, you know, killing somebody is release. But why kill a group of random people you ain't never met in your life?
You don't know why?
I never understood that.
Because at that point, it's like, it's like not even directed anymore. You're just angry. Like,
why people,
I get
though?
that, though.
Because it's
those
like...
are
they're the cause of your problem.
Yeah.
Like, it may not be a specific person. It's the fact that people exist. So it's like...
Again, I've never personally actually been through it, and until I actually go through it, I can't say what I'm about to say is a definitive fact. Mm-hmm. But my ass is just destructive. If I was like, you know, I'm about to do this, I'm gonna go blow up a school, but I'm gonna wait till like nighttime where nobody's in the school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just want to be destructive. I just want to release. So I'm just gonna blow something up or destroy something.
I mean, that's what we got video games for, right?
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes
Some
video games ain't
motherfuckers
enough.
like...
But
We're not actually gonna go kill nobody. I just want y'all to know that. Like, don't report nobody. I know I'm really close to the mic. It's just, look, we just talking about real life situations. Some of us want to kill folk when we mad, okay? Just leave it at that. We're not FBI. Stay the fuck away. There's nothing to worry about. CIA, go sleep. You're already spying on me right now, and you know I'm not serious. Okay.
But yeah, like, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Like.
Well, I
just think it would be dope to see like an actual explosion, but not like if you blow some shit up, that would be cool. But just shooting motherfuckers, like,
I'm just saying, because like I remember I was younger and I had like slight anger issues, and now I had one really bad day, and I saw this car like it looked like a car that wasn't being used. But I'm saying that to make myself look better. And I really needed to, like, release some tension, so I took a pipe to the back and I destroyed the car with a pipe. And
you took a pipe to the back?
Yeah.
Oh, to the back. Oh.
No, to the pipe. Like, I just kept beating the car with a metal pipe. Oh. And it felt good.
I've done shit like that when I didn't beat the shit out of a car. Like, but I got like a lighter once.
Okay.
And threw that shit at a wall, and that shit exploded.
And it just feels good to release.
Okay.
Now again, I can't say that maybe that works for everyone because maybe in their situation, targeting a living thing is what they need to do to release. Maybe not justifying it, just explaining it. But maybe
that's like
but that's just me.
But that's like next level satisfaction that you're gonna get out of that.
All right,
because you know you're either going to jail or you're gonna kill yourself before they get to you.
That's true.
That's like you're at this point you give no fucks.
When I say this, I'm not gonna go on no killing spree or nothing. All right, let's just get that out of the way.
Matter of fact, we might want to edit this section.
Yeah, no, we will. But I've been there, like where breaking, because I used to break shit all the time, and like. You know my whole story. I've been bullied all the way up until like well into my mid-20s. So it's like, at some point as a kid, mind you, being black with no father, all that shit, your mom is being called a whore, you know, just a bunch of shit. At some point, breaking chairs and stuff just doesn't do you justice. It's like, for me, it was like, all right, I'm gonna break a chair, but it don't feel good because I know it doesn't feel anything. I want you to feel what you make me feel, like, just in a destructive way. So it's like, if you can't feel any kind of pain, what's the point of breaking this wall? I'm gonna hurt myself before I hurt the wall. Like, that was my thinking. Cause
to that degree, that does make a lot of sense.
It's you gotta be pushed there. That's all it is.
I just don't want to believe that people
been
consciously want to attack another person.
Yeah,
I don't want to believe that.
But if you're in that position and you know that if you kill people, it's gonna affect other people.
Yeah,
so
that's
like,
what you.
It might not be directed at like whoever hurt you, but you know, like the world is gonna feel it.
That's true.
Yeah, basically, it's like how you make a statement without saying anything. It's just like an action thing. But it's the only reason I know, because I've been in that mind state where, like, I went to school with like a metal thing in my sleeve, and I'm like, next person that's talk some shit, because I was being called like racial slurs all my whole like high school year. There was like one specific guy. I'm like, next time he says something, I'm just gonna beat him mercilessly. That was really in my head. I brought the pipe to school, and I was literally waiting for him to say something, and that shit, I slid it out, and then for some reason he just didn't bother me that day. I don't know why, so I didn't beat him to death. And then I went home, and then my mom was like, "Oh, I prayed Jesus protected you." I'm like, he just got lucky. That's really what it was.
I mean, sounds like divine intervention.
I literally premeditated that. I didn't really care about the consequences, but that's when you're like angry, and that's where I was. Like, I could break as many PlayStations as I want. I'm not taking a PlayStation away from nobody but me. You know, it's like it doesn't.
Yeah, like I said, when you put it in that light, it does make a lot more sense.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm smart, so at some point I'm like, well, that's not gonna fix anything either. So then I didn't do anything. You know, like, at some point I was like, I'm just angry. Like, when you're really, really angry, like, that's why I like the Hulk so much, because I get why he's so pissed off. Leave me the fuck alone. Like, leave me alone. Like, you know, but this is a good conversation. I will cut this one.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna kill nobody. I just want to reiterate that. It's just points of view, okay? Because everything, I have to. The internet's sensitive. Like, there's gonna be somebody, like, if you post this, there have been so many cases where somebody's like, oh, they said something that offended me, and I feel like it was a death threat, and somehow they fucking create this whole crime scene in their head, and then before you know it, the FBI or whoever's at our fucking door, like, did you plan this? No. It was an opinion. Like, or, like, a statement or whatever. But, yeah, like, the dude really just went nuts. Like, he started shooting people. I was like, Yeah. It's sad.
And there's that, like, you could go mentally insane. There's that.
Yeah. Now the white kids shooting up churches and fucking schools, I only buy that so far, because, like, their punishments have been garbage. They were like, oh yeah, they were insane. One of them was like, no, I just hate black people, so I shot him.
Damn!
And they straight up, you didn't hear about that? This white kid went into a Baptist church and just started killing black folk. I'm literally not kidding. And at some point, he was just like, I just hate black people.
Like, people like that don't even deserve to go to hell.
And he was like
they deserve the lowest pit of the lowest exist. Like,
so, like, the thing about it was that fucked me up. I'm like, so they tried to, his lawyer, whoever, was like, no, he's just insane. He doesn't know what he's talking about, when his statement completely contradicted that. He's like, I was fully aware of what I was doing. I'm like,
there's a lot of that.
You know, what the fuck?
But it's like, it's already like a fucking premeditated.
Oh yeah, he went
guilt trip. for the lawyers to go to that fucking
right.
What do you call that shit? Your fucking plea bargain or.
Oh yeah, you're pleading insanity or unstable. But like in those situations where it comes to somebody snapping, like no, normally those are just like. Well, they didn't like something.
Well, that too. It's also like, you gotta remember, the saying goes, the crazy man thinks everyone's crazy but himself.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So, like, he might have been saying, no, I'm perfectly conscious and I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But he thinks that because he's crazy.
That's like,
you know what I mean?
That...
The only way you could comprehend that is because you're insane.
Because you're like...
You know what I mean?
You're
so,
nuts.
like...
Well, that makes sense, because that's like that... I don't know if you heard that dude that was strangling women because God told him to.
No.
This dude was strangling women to death. And he was like... And it was weird because he was like perfectly normal. He was like, he had a normal life, wife, kids. He was like, one day he was like, God literally came to me and was like, the world is full of sin. You need to start strangling women. Essentially. I'm paraphrasing hard, but that's essentially what it was. And he's like, okay, God, I'll do your work. Went out strangling women, go home, eat food, live his life. It was normal for him until he got caught. But he even told him, he's like, God told me to.
Yeah.
And he was like,
he thinks he's sane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're going to call that crazy because, like, there's no way that makes sense other than for, like, it's just no. But he thinks that makes sense. So clearly, he's got to be fucking crazy.
But at the same time, there's people who say
it's not like
that.
like scrolling anymore.
Oh, it's moving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're good.
There are people who say they speak to God and he says like all kind of shit.
Yeah, there are a lot of those where people like, and you know what's funny? The conviction, that's the thing me and Jerome have talked about it. Like, one thing I will not fuck with Christians with is their conviction. Mm-hmm. They believe so much in their God that somehow they just manifest some shit. Like, they will sit there and be like, watch, God gonna bless you tomorrow. You're like, oh, bullshit. What? And then you get $200 and it's like, wait.
No, like,
where did I get this?
The thing that like TV does that's funny to me, and when I say TV, I mean like fiction.
Oh yeah.
Not like news reports or anything. But even in a lot of news reports or real life, this has probably happened. And I don't mean to make light of the situation, but it's kind of funny. It's kind of reiterating how you're saying like they have so much conviction. Like, you ever see a movie where like there'll be the religious person about to get murdered? And instead of doing anything, they just fall to their knees and start praying.
Yes.
And it's like, you're looking in the face of the thing that's about to kill you, and there's nothing that's going to stop them.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, Lord Jesus, please. Oh, Lord Jesus, save my life.
And it's like,
bless my soul.
You have,
they just be praying. Like, they just be praying.
You know you have legs, right?
Right.
Like, you
like,
can run.
he is walking.
Jeepers Creepers, that shit happened.
Yeah.
The first
Oh,
one,
yeah.
the psychic. That's weird. She was a psychic, but she was like so religious.
Yeah, and they literally just sit there praying.
Yeah, just sat there.
And it's like, look, the dude is walking up to you very slowly. Very slowly. He's about 120 feet away. You have perfectly working legs. It's open field in front of you. Mm-hmm. There's nothing to stop you. Just run.
You know,
matter of fact, you got some keys to a car right there.
Get the fuck on out.
The idea is that these are the last moments of your life. You might as well use that praying so you can go.
That's conviction.
I mean,
that's conviction.
I believe that.
That's
but at
like,
the same time, it's like, but if you just did something about it, it wouldn't be the last moment of your life.
They just taking advantage of
you know what I mean?
It's like a preemptive strike.
Maybe they just give up. They're like, I'm not going to outrun this dude.
It's like, granted, looking at some of the fictional situations, you're gonna die eventually.
Yeah.
Like, and some of them, it's been like Michael Myers. If Michael Myers targets you,
you're dead.
You're dead.
Him and Jason, you're dead.
You're dead.
You're dead.
They're gonna get you at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, maybe Freddy, you might
get away.
Slightly get away from. Maybe if enough of y'all could stare him in the face and say he's not real and throw some fire at him. Maybe.
Then you're fine.
Maybe. And Chucky, you could just kick him hard enough.
Yeah, that's true.
But, like, Michael and Jason, you're not, like, once they get their eyes set on you, they literally...
What's worse is they don't run.
They don't. They're not going to get away. So in that sense,
Right.
maybe I would just drop to my knees and just oh, holy Jesus.
Oh, you already know what I'm doing.
Giving your soul straight to the
I
devil.
was like, if there's a Satan, he's giving my soul. Because what I'm going to tell him, I was like, in return... For ultimate power, I will be your ultimate servant. I'll do whatever I got to come back and kill this motherfucker. Because I'm a vengeance kind of guy. Like, if you kill me, I'm not about to ask God to. I'm like, no, I want to kill this motherfucker.
Adrian's logic kind of checks out. Like, if you ever were to see something of that, like, caliber, that means the devil has to exist.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, like, if Jason walked, like, the actual Jason, not some dude pretending to be Jason.
the real
like,
life
actual Jason walked through that door right now, the devil has to be real. That is the only way.
It's got more immortality.
Yeah, you're right. And there has to be some ultimate evil out there for something like Jason to exist.
Give me power.
You know what I mean? And if he can have ultimate power, I
So
want
can I.
ultimate power.
And I will be the best best damn servant. The best damn servant. Just so I can come back and kill that motherfucker.
Yep.
Because if there's one thing that religion has taught us, God always comes, they call it on time. No, he's fucking late. He shows up when you're basically dead.
Yeah.
Or he'll wait till you're actually dead to be like, come to heaven. Bitch, I wanted to live.
It was your time, my child.
No, fuck that. You know what? I'm going to say he'll give me what I want when I want it. The only thing I gotta do is give him my soul and some blood. All right, cool. Like,
and some blood.
Oh my
but that's the only time in that situation. Like, when did that come up? We were talking about prison, and like you were like, what if some dude was just like you couldn't fight him?
Oh, he gonna take that?
He's
booty?
gonna take that booty.
He gonna take
At that point, I was like, if you're gonna take it, you better pray I die because I'm coming back.
Yep. He gonna take the booty.
Cause I'm not gonna lie, I'm like in normal life, like I'm pretty chill. I'm not inherently evil, but when it comes to vengeance, and I feel like you did me dirty and I'm dead, oh, vengeance all the way. Like Kratos level vengeance.
Like,
I have to come back.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't like. Again, I don't know this until it happens, and I pray to God none of it ever does happen. But I feel like I would really just be a punk bitch. Like,
What do you mean?
like you gotta think about it. Like, okay, right now, right? Not right now, but like tonight, you go to sleep in your bed, you have a nice dream, then out of nowhere, this nigga Freddy Krueger show up. You think it's a dream because this is real fucking life, and you're like, oh, you know, it's just a bad dream. Let's say he do something like he scratch your arm, right? And you're like, okay, that was a dream. But then you wake up and your arm is bleeding.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that was weird. And that little itty bitty like ounce of like that was weird is gonna make him more stronger.
Yeah, because you're already thinking.
You're already thinking
fuck,
it, right?
he might
So
be
then
real.
you go to sleep the next night, and now he's a little bit stronger. So this time he cut your foot off. You wake up.
Damn, wait, you went from a scratch? Wait.
Okay. He cuts off like a finger, and then you wake up in the morning, your finger is missing.
Oh, then you know he's real.
Then now you know he's real. So now you're gonna do like every movie and try not to sleep anymore.
I don't know. I'm going to bed.
He said, "I'm going to bed."
Well, because you see me. For some reason, when I'm scared, I just react with anger. I don't know why.
Yeah, and my thing is like,
I don't
look
know
at
what it
that
is.
situation. It's a dude who's attacking your subconscious.
Yeah.
You lost. It's over. We already don't control our subconscious.
I would still try to
It's
fight
over.
him. I'm like, look,
I'm about
Freddy.
to just be like, oh, look, Freddy, let me just make this easy for you.
Oh, yeah, when fucking Stan was like,
Let me just make this easy for you. Michael fucking walks in, I'm gonna pull out a slew of knives and be like, which one you wanna use?
oh my god.
Cause really, like, think about that. Like,
He really just like, Michael, do you like the number 5 knife?
do you like the number 5 knife
Would
with the
you like-
serrated edge, or do you want the straight edge
Now,
knife?
do you want to,
Or do you want the classic chopper?
This one's for roast beef. If you're trying to
Like-
shove me, this is good for it.
Or like fucking Jeepers Creepers, or the creeper walks up to this window and he does that weird shit that he does where he looks at you and he knows when you're born and decides if he gonna eat you or not.
Yeah.
And then he looks and he's like, yep, I'm gonna eat you.
We fighting to the death.
Okay, I'm gonna just be like, okay, wait right there, and I'm gonna walk around and just lay down. Cause it's over.
Oh shit, what?
Like, it's over. Like, it's done. That's it. You know what I mean? Like in those movies, how many people die before the main character does something triumphant?
Yeah, true.
And what is the likelihood that you're the main character in this story?
I told you.
I mean-
I'm not scared because I got Satan.
Like,
I told you I'm not a Satanist, but that's where I'm going. If you like, cause I can't fathom getting killed by something more powerful than me, and it's getting away with it. Like that's stupid. I'm supposed to wait on God to be like
I
judgment. No,
totally
fuck
agree,
that.
but
I ain't
the
judgment.
very fact that it's more powerful than me is why I'm gonna just submit.
See, I can't do that.
Man.
Like,
I can't do that. Like
the only one that, after I initially got over my fear, I would try to fight back would be something like Chucky. Like,
yeah,
again, don't get me wrong. If Chucky hit the corner right now, I would shit bricks. but at the same time,
I think we all would
if
shit
you-
brick.
yeah, I would shit bricks.
like,
But at
oh,
the same
shit.
time, Chucky is like the least scary in terms of like the character within itself.
Yeah.
It's a serial killer in the body of a doll. That's it. There really ain't nothing supernatural about him except for the fact that he's in the body of a doll. Everything else about him is basically human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, technically-
at some points in the movies, he doesn't die.
Yeah, but like he's so easy to fuck with.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
and virtually,
we don't really have a scale of how strong he is. Because sometimes he overpowers the characters, and sometimes he...
That shit don't make no fucking sense.
When he overpowers them, it's never like sheer muscle. It's always the person he overpowered. He got like a cheap shot on him, and then they're just flailing in fear. And the cheap shot 9 times out of 10 is something to the ankles. 9 times out of 10, it's like he's sitting under the bed and they're walking and like, that's usually what happens. And then he jumps on top of them.
Jokes on him. He can't hide under nothing.
Yeah, no, but that's genuine. Like 9 times out of 10, that's what happens. Or he jumps at you from above you, and you're looking, and you're stuck in suspense. Yeah. You're not even afraid yet.
You're just like,
what the fuck is that? Like, because like a doll is coming at you with a screwdriver.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
You know what I mean? So you're like, you're not even initially scared yet. You're freaked out. Like, what the fuck am I looking at? And then by the time you get scared, it's too late.
Yeah,
He's already on you, stabbing you. So then you're dead. So like, that's why I'm like, but like in every movie, there's always that cheap shot where somebody just kicks the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
They just punt him like a football.
Honestly,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and he's been incapacitated a few times. Honestly, I would tie a cinder block to him and throw him in the ocean.
Yeah, it's like, and then the thing about the Chucky movies, he's terrifying until people start standing up for themselves.
Yeah.
Once one character is like, okay, it's time to fight back, he ends up losing.
Yeah.
Almost immediately.
He's a fucking doll.
Yeah, because he's a fucking 2-foot doll that has like fucking 6-inch extremities. His arms and legs are 6 to 7 inches long. Like, I could put a laundry basket on top of him and then put a brick on top of the laundry basket. There you go, problem solved.
Like,
did you see the newer one though?
Yeah, that one was so bad.
Oh, it was
with the Sane Asylum.
Yeah,
that one was so horrible. It was so bad. But even that movie,
this nigga scared me, bro.
No, but real talk, we all looked. We all looked. We all was just like, wait.
I was so goddamn fast. I was like,
we're talking shit about Chucky, right?
Chucky gonna be the one to get us off. But like, in my ranking of like least scariest to scariest, it's like Chucky is on the bottom and then Freddy's right next to him. But Freddy's a little bit more above him, just because Freddy is so supernatural that's what makes him terrifying. But like Chucky to me is like, once I get over initial fear, I ain't scared of you no more.
Like I said, Michael Myers and Jason are only two that you have to be like, well,
you have to be terrified.
Because at some point it was like, you can't drown Jason anymore.
You can't kill him.
He's immune.
Yeah. Like at some point they're unkillable.
In what situation would you think would be the scariest though?
Jason.
Like of all of them,
by
or
far, Jason.
Yeah,
because
include Aliens and Predator.
Well, Predator. Okay, so my thing about Predator is I actually give him no respect. Because how are you named the most lethal predator when you've been killed in every franchise you've ever been in?
Yeah,
but you're named the most lethal hunter ever.
He's garbage.
But like, how many motherfuckers did that nigga kill though?
I mean, honestly, if you want to know, he's honestly got away with it a lot similar to Chucky, where when people aren't aware of him, he kills. But then as soon as somebody is like, let's fight back, he loses.
I mean,
yeah.
When I
and
think
then on
about
top
it,
of that,
I think about it, it's like, in terms of aliens.
No,
I think
aliens
is scary as shit.
The face suckers is what destroys you.
I will tell you.
Oh yeah.
The face suckers.
I would lay down and die.
Yeah. Like it made
I would lay down and die.
Well, yup.
Because at that point, even if I like pledged my soul to Satan, this is an alien. This ain't like how am I gonna? If I kill it, it's just gonna spawn more.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Unless you go kill the queen, but apparently that wasn't enough.
No.
That's why there's like 8 of them movies.
But the face suckers, that concept.
Dude, if I woke up
scary.
after a face sucker, I'm just gonna jump off the cliff. Like
these motherfuckers done playing.
Cause think
you gotta kill yourself.
You gotta kill yourself, and the thing is,
you just want to live and watch this motherfucker come out.
The thing is, it's probably still gonna come out you.
Yeah, but at least I'll be
not
fucking die.
But no, Alexis made a point. We were talking about it because I was always saying the scariest thing to me in the franchise is the face suckers.
Yeah.
Because the aliens themselves, don't get me wrong, are terrifying.
But they don't fuck your face.
Yeah, exactly. And like realistically, they're easy to kill. Just hit them with something hard enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're such a hive mind that they are easy to kill. Mm-hmm. They're hive minded. You know what I mean? Granted, not saying I have the skill to kill them, but someone who does have the skill, it's not that hard. But hold on,
Go ahead.
Alexis was making the point. The newest Alien, what is it? Covenant. The newest one,
whatever the newest one is,
had something that's even scarier in essence than the face suckers, the poison spores.
Oh yeah.
Because that's a face sucker you don't even know what's happening.
Yeah, you sure?
Because have you seen Covenant?
Nah.
Okay, do you care about slight spoilers?
Give it to me.
Okay, spoilers for Alien Covenant, all you guys that haven't seen it. Also, if you haven't seen it, that's pathetic. That movie's like almost a year old now.
He didn't mean it.
I do mean it. You're fucking pathetic.
He didn't
that
mean it.
movie's old, it's already on DVD.
Don't be offended.
It's pathetic. But anyway, so, in the movie, they go to the point of this movie is like, they're looking for another planet to call Earth. That's like the overall point.
Yeah,
they find this planet in this galaxy that's basically identical to Earth. So then they go to it. They get to it and they realize there's nothing here, just like plants and life. But there are not life, but just like plants. But there's nothing else here. Like there's nothing else here. And they're like, everything must have died somehow. How did everything die? While this happens, one of the characters steps on like this plant that releases a spore that like goes in his nose because it's like floating and he's breathing. And then later in the series, like 20 minutes later, the thing pops out his chest.
Holy shit.
You don't even know it's in your face.
You don't even know it happened. Like, all that you know is like once it gets inside you, they started getting sick. Like, they started like coughing, and it was like, dude, I feel like tired and woozy. And these things grow so much faster than the original aliens. Like, that thing would bust out of your chest, basically a full-grown adult.
Damn.
Basically, I'm over-exaggerating greatly, but basically, like, it came out of his chest, and within moments, it was able to, like, be full-size, fucking full sprinting at people, tail whiplash, like...
Now, the one thing that does terrify me, because I know they were precursor aliens, was those fucking things in Prometheus.
Oh, you have to watch that shit. I thought it was... I heard it was dark.
Oh, the, like, wiggly...
Ooh, I hate those. And you know how I feel about invertebrates in general.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when it shot out and was on that dude's arm, it flexed and, like, destroyed his arm.
The worst invertebrate...
I don't want to talk about that shit. I don't want to talk about that shit.
The worst one I've ever seen is Life. That shit.
Life.
Oh my god. That thing was like... That thing... There's a scene in the movie where there's a scene in the movie where one of the characters is like making like a triumphant speech about like how they gotta do what they can to like preserve life and this and this and that, and then at the end of the speech this nigga apologizes and we're like, why is he apologizing?
Oh, the black dude.
Turns out the thing was on his fucking leg, just eating his body away, and it was like, what? Like, then at the end of the movie, they had this epic ass plan to like get rid of him. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, this shit could work. All right, we're good. But this thing overpowered him and got on Earth. Now everybody on Earth is dead.
Pretty much.
Yep, everybody on Earth died.
My theory is that shit became the monster from Cloverfield.
Yes and no. Have you seen Cloverfield Paradox on Netflix?
Oh yeah,
stupid ass movie, but that actually explains.
That shit was trash.
That movie actually does explain where the Cloverfield Paradox came from. It was just interdimensional travel.
I like more that it was the life story.
Yeah, no, the life story is cooler.
That nigga went in the ocean.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know that thing is gonna take over Earth because it landed like in some third world country, like in Tibet or some shit where they don't have a military.
These motherfuckers gonna open up the shit.
Yeah, that little thing is gonna come out the water, is gonna kill a small fishing village, get dumb strong, then go to the next fishing village, get dumb strong, and then by the time the actual militaries of the world realize about it, he's already too damn strong and nukes don't hurt him no more.
Exactly.
Well, I told you about them.
Now, if he would have landed in like Los Angeles, like a major city, they'd just blow the city up immediately. But he landed somewhere like in the middle of fucking nowhere.
I feel like that nigga still wouldn't die. Like Calvin was a beast.
He was.
Like
he doesn't even need oxygen.
Yeah.
Like he needs it, but he can adapt it to hold its breath.
For extreme periods of time.
For extreme amounts of time.
How do you hold your breath when there's no breath to hold?
Right?
Space, it's a vacuum. There is no...
Like,
that's why I don't fucking trust anything that don't have bones.
Well, that thing though was mad though because we provoked it. He kept shocking it with the little stick.
Yeah, but like,
but he was technically dead.
I know you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But my thing is though, like,
I did you a favor.
That thing is fucking sensitive.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Like, okay, I shocked you a little bit, but according to what the doctor said, it wasn't enough to actually hurt. It just felt like a small pinch. And because of that, you want to extinct the human race? Right?
I mean, it just broke his arm at first.
Yeah,
It was when they went to the rat.
It just broke his arm.
Like, because I pinched you, you broke my arm.
Right. That's like I
It's
go
a
outside,
molecule.
some dude like passed me on the back a little too hard, and I just decided to shoot his family.
It was
That's
just so
like-
extreme.
Molecule.
No, fuck that.
It disintegrated the rat.
Anything with no bones can't be trusted.
Yeah, because then it the rat like sniffed at it, right? The rat like
Yeah.
snipped at it, and then it like
Or it
surrounded
sneezed
the
or
rat
something.
and like ate its existence. Like,
Yeah.
like it literally like grabbed
Couldn't
the
even
rat.
explain what.
Yeah, like it surrounded the
Literally
rat and like
disintegrated that nigga.
disintegrated the
Like,
rat. Like
it
the rat
absorbed
couldn't
that
even
nigga.
scream. Like it just the rat just stopped
It's
existing.
kind of crinkled up and like became like a reverse black hole. Like that nigga was gone. Like,
That is.
Like how do you do that?
that
Like,
was insane.
Like, what? And my thing is, like, that thing has a conscience and it knows how to fuck with people, because it could have killed Jake Gyllenhaal
And it
in the
didn't-
space
it-
pod.
it did not.
But it
Yeah.
didn't. It left him
Like,
alive.
nigga, we know we fucking on a long ass trip right now.
Right.
So I'ma just feed off your dumb ass.
Right? I'm not
Until
gonna
we
kill
land.
you. I'ma just chill with you. Like, that thing
was
knows
insane.
what it's doing. That, and then the scariest thing in existence that, like, still to this day, and I shouldn't
already
bring it
know- I
up,
know where you're
because I'm
going.
gonna have nightmares by bringing it up.
Yep.
But it's the thing. That is
Hell
the
yeah.
scariest creature of
Hell
all
yeah.
creatures.
We
Like,
don't even see that. You don't even see the actual alien.
yeah, you just see your
Just
friends.
That's
The
true.
homies.
You have
Yeah,
no
you
idea.
see the homies.
Hey, what's up? Like,
And I'm never gonna forget, because the remake didn't do the greatest job of it. The original, and I'm not talking about the original with David Hasselhoff, not that original.
Yeah.
The OG original had the scariest scene of any other movie.
Oh, here we
ever.
go. Here's
There's
the one.
2 parts that the OG does, and you being a film dude, you should go watch them, because you might actually enjoy this.
I watched
So-
the original and then
The
one
black
that came
and white
out after
original.
that. Not the black and white.
Oh, so you watch like the David? I think it's David Hasselhoff, right?
yeah.
I think that's him.
No.
No, it wasn't.
It's
No,
not David?
Not
it
David
was
Hasselhoff.
somebody else, but whatever.
Okay, but
It was
anyway,
like Jeff
so
Bridges or something.
the OG black and white one, 2 things it does. The entirety of the show, it does very clear show. The entirety of the movie, it does very clear, precise shots of people opening doors. Right? Very clear shots. And it builds up mentally inside of you that that's an okay situation. Like, subconsciously, you start to think like, wait, what if he's behind that door? But it does it so much that subconsciously you're like, oh, it's, he's just opening the door.
Yeah.
Like, you become okay with it. And then once towards the end of the movie, dude opens the door, the monster's right there. Like, literally, like, in the doorway. Like,
so it's like
instantly.
you're the, like old school Resident Evil when you open the door and it goes to that cutscene, and every time you open it, there's like nothing there.
Yeah, there's
And then
nothing there.
One time,
yeah, and
there's,
then
like, zombies.
one time there's something there. One time.
Damn.
And it fucks with you. Like, it really fucks with you. And like, it makes it worse knowing, like, me telling you this, because now you're gonna watch the movie waiting for it to happen.
Yeah.
So it fucks with you. Then the second scene that fucked me up, and again, the remake did this scene, but they didn't do it as well, is when the first alien thing gets killed, or they think it gets killed, and they put the body on the table, and then they start, like, doing the autopsy on it,
yeah.
and then the thing's, like, mouth just opens and eats the dude's hands. In the remake, it wasn't quite as epic, but in the original, I'm assuming it's because, like, back then makeup and special effects weren't as good.
Yeah.
So they had to make that shit, like, top flight. It was fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Like,
I gotta
the
watch
things,
that shit.
like, oh my.
He's fucked up right now.
And the thing is, every time I've watched that movie, I've always had a girlfriend that I'm, like, sleeping with that night. And I literally, every time I sleep on, like, the edge of the bed, just waiting for her back to just open up and eat me. Like, I swear, like, I'm terrified. Like,
That's probably the greatest.
like
horror
every time, like,
Yeah,
the
that's
first
not
time, I don't know if you remember this, Adrian, but, like, there was a day where, like, where I overanalyzed your tattoos. I had, like, left and came back. And I was
Oh, yeah.
overanalyzing your
Because I got a
tattoos.
tattoo on my arm.
But yeah, and I was like overanalyzing it because I went home and I saw it was when the second remake came out, and I came back, and it can't copy inorganic things.
Right.
So tattoos it technically wouldn't be able to copy because they're that's dead skin cells. They're technically not living anymore. So technically it wouldn't be able to copy a tattoo. So if it was you, your arm would just be your arm.
Yeah, it'd just be there'd be nothing there.
Yeah. So like there was one day where I went back to their house to hang out and I was like checking everybody, but like I wasn't letting them know that I was checking them. I would just be like, oh, you got tattoos. Yeah, that's nice. Yo, Stan, didn't you have fillings when you were a kid?
Just in case.
Did you get like the metal caps? Oh, cool. Let me see your caps. Like, I swear, dude.
Dude was losing it.
I was losing it because like that is the scariest movie monster to me. Like,
Yeah, bruh.
it could basically be anything living.
And then when it transforms, is the scariest.
Like it just like mushes.
It's nothing but mush, man.
It's just
It's
mush.
nasty.
God.
It's just
And the thing is, like, not only can it copy things, it can even copy like the persona.
yeah.
Yeah.
How do you even copy somebody's personality?
You wouldn't know.
You really like you don't know until it's too late, until you're dead.
The craziest shit was when they was testing them motherfuckers. They had these niggas tied up on the fucking couch. They tested the nigga on the end.
Oh,
This
yeah.
nigga shit popped up. Then this nigga started transforming.
Oh,
Them niggas were stuck on the fucking couch.
I was like, man, he got y'all.
Oh,
Good.
shit.
He got
These
y'all.
niggas are stuck on the fucking couch.
like that movie,
Like that shit. Oh my god, that shit is so fire, bro.
like that shit fucking terrifies me.
Yeah, that is fucking like that's. Oof.
Like that's so. And the thing that really gets me though is like there's other movie monsters that can like transform and shapeshift, but when they shapeshift as the thing they are, they can only do the extent of what that thing can do. So like
Right.
if it's a human, it can only bite you with its actual human mouth or grab you with its human hands. This thing was like, fuck that.
No.
I want to open up a mouth in the middle of my back. I'm gonna do it.
That's fine.
I want to open up a mouth in my
I
fucking
got
chest.
that chest.
I'm gonna do it. Like, I want to grow my
crazy.
arm so that it stretches way. No, the thing that got me is that same scene. Remember, they cut its arm off, and then the arm became another one.
It's mush.
The
It's like
arm
Play-Doh.
literally sprouted legs and a big ass
Yeah.
mouth, and then ate someone else.
That shit would be
Like,
insane,
that's
bro.
terrifying.
That's like Dead Space has some monsters like that.
I couldn't.
Where like I think it was like a direct thing reference.
It had to
They have
have been.
some necromorphs that are like hands and
Yeah.
like a head. Like you shoot this monster's
this
head off.
disclaimer, I'm not gonna lie. When I first played Dead Space, I was in the military and I couldn't play it in the dark by myself.
I'm
not
gonna give you a
surprised.
I'm gonna give you a deeper one. I never actually played it.
Good.
What?
Don't
I
do
had other people play it for me,
It's-
and I watched it.
That shit was scary.
That shit was
too scary.
Yeah.
I was like, no,
Dead
fuck this
Space is
game.
I just went through the first one recently because I got it on PS3.
Was
I
it
gotta
scary
get the
when you
second
played
one.
it?
Hell yeah, nigga! I was like, oh shit.
Alexa
Like-
said, "Fuck that game." She said she
I
almost,
almost
But that
cried.
she almost cried.
God,
Yeah.
yeah, that game
Like,
is
But
fucking
that game
evil.
is so
And that
fucking
game,
fantastic.
that game honestly spared no expense. They even had necromorph babies.
Yeah.
Oh,
hell
hell yeah.
The
yeah.
fucking
I
babies
hate
with
them
like the
little
tentacles
lassos.
that came out of their backs.
Nope,
Yeah.
nope,
Like-
nope. When I saw tentacles, that's when I literally stopped. I was like, I'm
come
sorry.
on,
Because they
Bro,
already
the
walk at
fucking
you like in that
babies.
weird animated shit.
Like,
and you're just like,
oh
oh,
my
no.
God.
And all you have is limited fucking ammo.
babies.
Limited
Did you
ammo.
play on the hardest difficulty?
Hell yeah, like a dumb dick.
Hell yeah, where the only way to
fire.
actually kill them is to dismember them.
Yeah.
Excuse
Yeah.
me.
I
Or
was
like you
like-
literally
You
shoot
should
them
be
and they
killing them like that regardless.
You should, but
I mean,
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
panicking. I'm just going to try to shoot
and
you.
that game invented
Nah,
the
you
double
gotta-
tap before the double tap was the thing. You kill them
hell
once and
yeah.
walk up, kill it
that
again.
motherfucker,
Yep.
Like-
they be faking it. They be like, did your ass walk past that motherfucker? Get your ass- Oh my god! Then they be getting you with the little like they have bodies everywhere on the guy.
everywhere.
Everybody.
necromorphs in the body pile.
Yup.
And shit. Oh my god, bro.
Or like if you walk in a room and you see a vent, you keep
Oh,
your
you
eye on
gotta
the
keep
vent.
your eye on that
Keep
shit.
your eye on the vent the whole damn time.
What pisses me off because they'll set it up like you walk into a room, it's all extra lit and you can see everything.
Everything
Yeah.
nice.
All the fucking vents. You go past it, you get the objective, you come back,
And it just
then
all the
they
lights
fucking-
shut out. All the lights
Then
just
they
shut
come
out. And you're like,
fucking
yo.
I was like, oh, y'all just waiting for me to
fucking
figure
knew
out
this.
what I needed
Yup,
to.
I knew
Okay,
that
now.
shit was gonna happen. God damn. And they coming out all the goddamn vents. God damn.
And the thing is, like, you will think you're safe because, like, you'll be like, this is the wall, and like everything's in front of you, and you'll be fighting your way through them.
Oh, yeah,
and
and
you're
you got a
thinking everything
motherfucker
behind
behind
you is cool.
Nope.
The next thing you know, you're like, you're like, what the fuck? And it's like
Goddamn
two of them niggas.
Like, when did you get back there?
When did you get back
These
there?
motherfuckers will jump in the vents, go
Yup.
around your ass, and come up from behind
And the
your
thing
ass.
is, like, with that
Oh
game,
my God,
with most
bro.
games, there's always a point where you get at least one weapon that's like,
It
I got
helps.
this.
Not that game.
I can handle it.
Not that game.
That game did not. Every time you got a new weapon, you're like, okay, this is the weapon. I'm about to fuck these niggas up. Nope.
You shoot like twice, be like, well, I'm out of ammo.
Well,
And then
like I remember
Essentially.
the one I thought was the shit was the one where it would shoot the bus off.
oh yeah, the saw.
But the
Yeah.
saw would like sit like
It would
a
sit
certain
and
distance
cut. Yeah.
in front of you, and
I
you
thought
could
that shit was fire, too.
But like,
But on certain motherfucking enemies.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
It wasn't
some
for
motherfuckers,
everyone.
you just be sitting there sawing and
and they just like,
But
oh my god.
it's crazy. The best weapon in the game is the pistol.
Yeah, it's the pistol. Or not the
Shit,
pistol.
It's not
it was
even a pistol.
It was
It's
a
fucking-
staple gun or
it's
some
a-
shit.
Yeah, like
no,
some-
it's a plasma cutter.
There we go.
Like
It's a
a
plasma
tool.
cutter.
Like,
Dude,
a
I'm
tool
afraid
for
because you
engineering.
know they're gonna make another one. You know they're gonna reboot
You know what?
that franchise.
I watched a
Like,
video, like it was like one of those discussion videos whether they're going to make another Dead Space or not. And his opinion was that they weren't gonna make another one.
they will because right now and nowadays it's not about story or none of that. It's about let's
Yeah,
make
true that.
money.
Yep.
And if
Let's make
if
some money.
you can't lie, you
And then
know
it's-
if they
and then
made a
it's
Dead
EA.
Space 4, you would jump on that shit.
Hell, I
Play
mean,
level 1
I-
and then get too scared. But we would jump on it.
And this time I'm
They
watching.
gotta. The thing is, they gotta go back to the horror because in 3,
Yeah, it was super
action.
Yeah, it was super action.
action.
like 1 and 2 was scary, and then
Fear
3
did
was
the same
abandoned.
thing.
The first Fear
horror game,
fucked my
first
ass
Fear
up,
was
boy.
fucking
Woo,
terrifying.
fucking
Fear
armor showing
2
up.
was decent, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
Fear 3 was just like
I'm gonna just
action.
shoot
I
everything.
played the second one. It like multiplayer when online was still up. Like the multiplayer was all. It was funny. Like they had this like the melee was like a jumping kick or a sliding kick.
What the
That
fuck?
shit was hilarious.
I never played the multiplayer. I just played the main story.
Like
Nobody would have played that shit.
Man, but yeah, Fear when it first came out, I was like, this game is legitimately fucking with me.
yeah,
That's why I didn't play it. I thought that shit was scary.
it was scary. It was really fucking
But,
scary.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, Resident Evil's going back to the horror shit, so they're gonna be making money.
Silent
Like-
Hill,
That's if we get another
yeah, if
one.
we
right?
get that.
Well, that Silent Hill is basically gonna be Death Stranding,
We'll see.
right?
We'll see.
We don't know what the fuck.
We don't know what the fuck that game is about.
All we know is this Norman Reedus trying to find some shit.
And that nigga's
And-
pregnant.
Right? He carrying a baby.
And occasionally, these dead people show up
And like
for whatever reason.
And like my thing is like I know Kojima's like super cryptic and you know like this is the way he does shit, but like so far every trailer we've gotten is a nigga walking.
Yeah.
Like come on,
The game cannot be like that.
like yeah, don't give me a game of somebody walking. Like Kojima, you got me genuinely nervous. Okay,
Watch it come out and it be like Game of the Year.
it probably
Yeah, it
will
probably
be.
will.
It
Like,
probably will
not
be.
even gonna lie.
Speaking of which, God of War and Spider-Man better be nominees. God of War and Spider-Man,
Spider-Man already?
they don't have to win, but they better be nominees.
Spider-Man literally got the creator, the director of God of War actually paid homage to this Spider-Man by like drawing a picture of like their characters interacting.
Oh, wow.
Because it's that good. Like
And
it's
Spider-Man,
got,
dude.
It's gotten crazy. I'm
This
getting it
is one of
Tuesday.
the
It's
best-
got crazy reviews.
This is one of the best versions of Spider-Man I've ever seen. Like it's
and I'm a
so
Spider-Man
good.
stickler, so I can't wait to play it. Like
The when any Spider-Man game comes out, the first thing I look at is the web swinging.
Oh, web swing is perfect.
It's not even.
this
I
shit's
mean,
pristine.
I've seen it like.
Well, you gotta feel it.
I've seen. Yeah, I probably do. Have
That's how I am.
But
I
I've
gotta feel
seen
it.
it like be imperfect. Like
No.
when it comes to like reality physics. Because in the second one, if you let's say like you swinging from a
Wait,
building.
the Amazing or the
and-
Tobey Maguire series?
The Tobey Maguire.
So like PlayStation
in
2.
two.
Yeah.
The best one.
Yeah, the one that they were like, that game
If
got
you-
like crazy ratings.
If you're swinging and like your web is like too long and you're going to the floor, you just hit the floor. Like you fucked
He
up
would,
your
yeah,
swing.
he would smack the floor.
Yeah, none of that shit would happen in the new one, at least from what I've seen.
Yeah, if you
Like,
do
it'll
manage to hit
automatically-
the floor, he'll either pick his legs up so he'll keep swinging, or he'll do like a little run. Like he'll run.
Oh, he covers
holding the web,
his bases.
I haven't even seen that shit.
Yeah, but it's
usually
like-
when
it's
I watch
so-
it, it looks like this like automatic kind of like helping you out, kind of like
Well, no, it's like
Ridge
it's
Racer,
like the game knows. It's like this one. The game knows exactly your distance from the ground. So if you are low to the ground, it's like he'll shoot the web perfectly long enough so that you won't hit the ground.
Also, this is
unless you
one of the-
literally
That's
do
what I'm
it like on the ground, then maybe.
This is one of the ones too where like it has to connect to a building.
Yeah.
Like you can't just
It
web
has
swing.
Oh, yeah.
to connect to an actual item, but
Man,
there's
this nigga. Okay, I was watching Maximilian stream this shit, and he was going through the that big ass park with all the trees and shit.
oh yeah, yeah.
Swing
Central
off the
Park
trees
or
and
whatever
shit.
it's called.
Yeah. So you can swing off the trees, but he never came close to the floor.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah,
But
but
he
the
was
thing
like
is-
swinging off of fucking trees that were like far as fuck away. Like you would have definitely hit the floor.
It
They
will,
would
how
like push him, like. It's like you looking at
Well,
it.
what kind of
he
was
connects
it
to
like
this-
the
to
actual
this
swing? Because
tree.
there's three different traversals. There's web swinging, there's instant zip lining, and then there's zip lining. So the web swing is like the
I know,
actual
it's fucking-
like swing,
Yeah.
and then the instant zip line, it looks like the swing, but he'll let go real quick. He'll shoot it and then pull himself and then just
Oh,
kind
no,
of
not
glide for a second,
know about
and then
that
the
shit.
zip line is like. That hurt.
I hope they heard that.
I do too. That was good. But no,
Zip
but then the
line
full
is
zip
like-
line is like the full like he'll
Yeah, he's like
all the way
boosting
to
himself.
yeah.
Now I'm saying like this is like he would fucking connect to the tree, and you know how like it doesn't look long enough for him to do the actual swing, but he would somehow like pull himself up, and then the web would be like short enough for him to make the swing.
Oh, okay. And you're saying you don't like that, or that you
Nah,
do?
I don't like that.
Really?
'Cause
This
it just
I
seems
love,
like
I
it just
love the
seems
web
like-
swinging in this one.
it's fluid,
It's so fluid.
but that it just takes away from the realistic aspect of it for me. That's why I
You
like
gotta
the second
feel
one
it.
so
You gotta
much.
feel it.
I probably
When you
do
have
to feel
time,
it,
you gotta
but
feel it, cause like that game.
seeing it, it
Like-
just looks like they tried. Because when Spider-Man 3 came out, they had that bullshit.
All right, Spider-Man. We
I was
don't
like-
talk about that game. Spider-Man 3 is like
Alright,
Dragon
I was
Ball
like,
GT.
damn.
But
Garbage.
I'm gonna
That
have
shit was
to
trash.
exit out because me and my girl got some stuff we gotta go do. So
No, you don't.
True.
I do.
No, yeah, it's
So I'm gonna have to exit out of
Alright,
this
man.
talk.
Nah, he being a little bitch. That's where he going. Look. These up closes are gonna be so funny.